It's time to start the round of 4 in the ASL.
That was kind of a bitchin' introduction right there. Oh, man.
I know. I was getting chills,
I'm
man.
feeling the epicness. This is the round of 4 of the ASL. We have all of the legends back, and 4 of them remain. 4 big-time, big-name pros. Of course, on Tuesday, it'll be Jaedong versus Flash. Everyone on Earth should be tuning into that. It should break the internet. And today, C versus Best. Going to be a fantastic TVP match.
I know there's a lot of hype on the other side of the bracket, but you have to acknowledge that, frankly, either of these two players could win the whole thing.
Yeah, this is actually a fact. These guys are super, super strong. The thing is, these two are not really players that won championships back in the golden days, but this is a different time. They have matured, they've gotten older, and the thing is, when your pro scene has been gone for so long, I think a lot of the blocks in your brain are probably going to go away, right? Like, they've already done their pro careers, so these guys do have the type of strength it takes to win.
Who do you think is going to win today? I'm leaning towards Best.
I'm leaning
towards
Best.
But I think it's 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2 sounds about right. Like, Best was a legendarily strong Protoss versus Terran player. He was the best macro player that Protoss had in this matchup.
That's right.
Just generally speaking, the strongest macro player out of the 6 dragons. So he would just have like more units than other Protoss players. So you'd think the Terran was going to win because you're like, oh, I've seen this before. And then Best just breaks through.
Also, his mass engages are good.
Yeah.
Really, really solid. He knows exactly the right angles to come in, where there's a player who might have the same number of units, them all bound on the same hotkeys, but he doesn't quite execute that, the flank coming in, dropping in the right location. Now, C, on the other hand, this is a guy, especially in this year and last year, was a Terran who really did rely on aggression. He's had a lot more aggressive builds, TVT, TVZ, TVP. How will Best handle that?
Yeah, I do like, though, in the last matches, he's been showing his macro again. You know, back in the golden days, C was a fantastic macro Terran, one of the best macros that there was, really. And now that he's kind of showing this big range of play, will Best be able to deal with anything that's thrown at him? I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous. Like, I do think Best should be able to take it, but with the strength that C has been showing and the fact that the meta is so different from the old days when you take a quicker third base and the macro Best would play a bigger role, it's really kind of in 2-base Arbiter rushes are so much the meta right now for Protoss versus Terran. Will that hinder Best?
Also, you got to remember that Best, when he was in his prime, that was in a meta where Terran was actually quite withdrawn. I mean, Terrans always rushed from time to time, but it wasn't as common.
Yeah.
A lot of Terrans are trying to squeeze out of third base, get their armories up, start upgrading to a push later on. The C does not really play like that.
Yeah, these like 4 factory pushes that we're seeing pop out here and there didn't exist in the golden days, really. It was
not in the same form.
You wanted to kill a Protoss when you were on 2 bases, you would jump up to 6 facts real quick and just try to flood through with Tank Vulture, just a few tanks and mass Vulture, but this is a quicker, more precise push, and you know, it's very interesting how it plays out against some of these Protoss builds. Like, if you try to take that third base, sometimes they can just kill you. If you're rushing up to the Arbiter, sometimes they get a little contain on and
also,
trade
it seems
out.
like the meta in PvT is, at least with a lot of these players, we'll see what Best does this time around because he does have his own distinct way of approaching the game. They do also power on 2 bases, sometimes going up to Arbiters.
Yeah.
So we might have a very different beast of a game here.
Well, that's what I'm afraid of for Best, truthfully, because these 2-base Arbiter builds, which are so important in the metagame right now, don't allow Best to, like, if that's where the game gets tough for him, he's not going to get into the part of the game where he is a god. The part of the game where he is a god is when we start hitting a lot of bases and he keeps his minerals down at 0 because he's producing so quickly. And if he can't get there because of this new tech meta, that could be an issue.
Now, keep in mind, C not only does aggressive builds, but tactically, whenever these skirmishes start up, he really executes everything pretty perfectly. He does seem to run out of gas if he doesn't do that much damage early, but if it's a close fight where he's able to get a few jabs in at the start of the game, I think he's fine in late game. I do not want to dismiss C's late game.
No, certainly
I'm just saying that it seems like he's a guy who has to poke some holes in his opponent if he's going to make it into late game and survive.
Yeah, and I mean, he definitely has had some games like that in this ASL, but I feel confident that he can keep his macro up throughout the game. It's I feel like the games are going to be decided here right around the point where the arbiters are coming out. Like, if
these
are 2 base arbiter builds, which I think we will see some amount of tonight, that's going to be such an important moment for both these players to prove exactly how well they understand this metagame.
안녕하세요.
All right, on to the interview now.
지금부터 4강 1경기에 출전하는 두 주인공인 연보성,
It's the first day of the
도재욱
semifinals.
선수랑
Let's meet our two
나눠보겠습니다.
players.
안녕하세요.
C and Best.
네, 연보성 선수.
네.
연보성 선수는 지난 시즌에 이어 4강에 지금 올라왔어요.
First to see.
근데 지난 시즌엔 아쉽게 탈락을 하셨잖아요.
네.
오늘
You were in the
컨디션
semifinals
어떠세요?
last season, but you were knocked out. Now you're once again here. How do you feel?
똑같다는 게 좋다는 의미인가요?
I'm always the same, to be
아니면은
honest.
안 좋다는 의미인가요? 뭐 긴장했다는
What do you mean by that?
의미인가요?
그냥 무예요. 아무 긴장도 안 하고 아무 생각이 없습니다.
무클랜 아닌 걸로 아는데
I don't really get nervous. I try not to think too much.
편안한 마음,
네.
네, 무서울 정신.
I try to play a comfortable game.
연보성 선수고요. 도재욱 선수는 4강 정말 오랜만이죠. 네. 4강 오랜만인데 오늘 컨디션
It's been a long time
어떠신가요?
since you've been in the semifinals against, excuse me, Best. How's your condition? He says, today I'm feeling pretty good. I'm confident I'm going to show some
도재욱
great games
선수
today.
표정이 정말 밝아요. 이 밝은 표정에서 좋은 경기력이 과연 나올지 기대를 해보겠습니다. 연보성 선수는 또 이번 시즌에 정윤종, 진영화 그리고 강력한 김태경 선수까지 꺾으면서
So you defeated a lot of Protoss
지금
players who advanced in the
프로토스
semifinals.
5연승이에요.
Players like Bisu and Rain.
프로토스전에 이렇게 강한 이유가 있을까요, 최근에?
You won 5 straight matches against Protoss players. What makes you so strong in that matchup?
사실 이 자리에 정말 그 다른 사람이 올라왔어야 원래 그게 맞는 건데 그 사람은 뭐 저를 응원하고 있겠죠. 예.
Sometimes I feel I don't even really belong here.
네, 약간
I know a lot of fans rooting for Bisu in the round of 8, but
I
I hope his fans could at least cheer for me since I beat him.
박수범이나
And
진영아
I also heard that Bisu is going to cheer for me tonight too.
네. 김태경을 이기니까 팬들이 태경이
Best used to be
이겼으니까
on
떨어지지
Bisu's
마라.
team,
막
by
이런
the
말을
way,
많이
so that's-
해갖고
Saying something.
좀
Says a
부담돼요.
lot of fans are threatening me that I better win the whole championship because I beat Bisu.
도재욱 선수는 또 현역 시절에서 테란전 12연승을 기록하면서 최다 연승 공동 1위.
Best is doing very well against Terrans.
테란전의 강한 모습을 지금
12 straight wins against Terrans.
자신만이
I didn't realize that. Wow,
가져온
it's pretty big.
테란전의 장점이라면 뭐가 있을까요?
What makes you so strong against the Terran race?
그냥 뭔가 자신감이 있어요. 그냥 뭐
네.
딱히 뭐 맞붙었을 때
I think I just play with more
질 것 같다는
confidence.
상대가 많이 없기 때문에
I don't feel that I'm going to lose to the Terrans right now, so I think that's one of the primary factors.
나를 이길 선수가 없다.
네, 그건
네.
아닌데
그건
그냥
아니고
비슷하긴 하죠. 네.
비슷하다. 정말 그래도 자신감이 대단하신 것 같네요.
I think almost no Terran's going to beat me right now. He says maybe
도깨비라는
Flash.
별명이 붙으면서
네.
선수들을 홀리고 있다는 말이 있어요. 근데 오늘은 도깨비일 수도 있거든요. 어떻게 홀리는 게 가능할까요?
제 스타 불멸의 삶을 오늘 끝내주셨으면 좋겠어요. 도재욱
네?
님께서. 농담이고 농담이고
네.
열심히 하겠습니다.
네, 계속 시정이가 열심히 하시겠다는 말.
Says maybe Best could end my winning streak against Protoss, but I'm going to do my best anyways to continue my record.
경기와 이게 스폰 매치나 이런 경기들을 많이 보면서 분석을 하셨을 텐데
네.
오늘 어떻게 공략 방법 좀 생각을 해보셨나요?
솔직히 말해서
How do you prepare
답이 안
against
보여요. 왜냐면은
Seep?
연보성님이 지금 즐기는 단계라서 뭔가 뭐 할지 모르겠어요.
Couldn't find many answers
제가
against
것만
C.
열심히 하려고요.
그러니까 연보성
He just
선수가
enjoys his
즐기고
games and
있기
plays
때문에
fun games.
즐기는 사람을
He's got a lot of good
분석해서
strats, though.
이기기는 어렵다.
네.
약간 이런 말씀을 해주신 도재욱 선수네요. 그리고 또 이제 또 이게 우연의 일치인지 모르겠는데 무클랜과 네옥스 아닙니까? 네, 지금 정말
C's on a clan right now, but Best is not on a clan.
오늘 양 선수 어떻게 응원 받으셨나요?
So I'm sure your crew members are cheering for you tonight.
저는 원래 그런 분이
Best
아닌데
says go
진짜
ahead.
카톡 왔어요.
He's a
잘하라고.
fan. What can you say?
카톡이요?
예.
엄청난 정말 기대를 지금 하고 계신 거네요.
I got a lot of messages from my clan members. They're all cheering for me to do well
저희
tonight. They're
감독님은
looking forward to seeing my
오늘
results.
직관 온다고 하다가 갔어요. 병구 형네 집으로 갔기 때문에
네.
혼자 열심히
Even
하겠습니다.
though I've got a team, he actually has a coach.
직관 올
He told
정도로.
me he's going to come tonight,
온다고
but he
했는데
didn't have to go to Stork's house to
응원이 아니라
watch.
자기 살려고 한 거
There's some
아니에요?
Storker watching from home,
그래서
but I'm sure he's cheering for me right
뭐
now.
제가 열심히 해야죠.
네.
Who could it be?
양 선수 정말 다 팀에서 응원을 잔뜩 받고 오신 것 같아요. 끝으로 이제 각오 한 말씀 들어보겠습니다. 연보성 선수부터.
Any final comments?
저는 사실 이긴다고는 말 못하겠어요, 솔직히. 하지만서
왜 이렇게 자신감이 없으세요 오늘?
I can promise you that I'm going to win today.
솔직하게
네.
좋은 경기 도재영님이랑 하겠습니다.
그리고 도재욱
But I'm sure I'm going
선수에게
to play a
한마디
great match
하신다면?
against Best. Any comments to Best before we start?
없어요.
No, I have no comment.
정말 오늘 연보성 선수의 컨셉은 무소유 정신입니다.
네, 그렇죠.
무. 네. 도재욱 선수 각오 한 말씀 들어보죠.
정말 오랜만에 4강인데 열심히 해서 꼭 다시.
So it's been a long time since I've been in the semifinals. I'm really hoping to do well tonight. I really want to go to the finals.
연보성 선수에게 한마디
And I'm going to do my
하신다면?
best to show some awesome games.
오늘 끝으로 밀린 콘텐츠 하러 가세요.
네, 양 선수 각오까지 들어봤습니다.
So
오늘
you have a lot of
멋진
streaming
경기
schedules. I hope you get knocked out
지금까지
tonight
연보성,
so
도재욱
you can go back to
선수와
streaming and
이야기
stop being in this
나눠봤습니다.
tournament.
Shoutouts.
Shut up! Artosis! We got an intro video coming up! Oh my god, I'm so hyped for this, man.
Yeah, this is going to be really fun. Best saying he doesn't think basically any Terran can take him out, which means that he's in the type of shape he was in the old days. But C looking good, a variety of strategies at his disposal, making him hard to study. Definitely do have to agree with that.
Can't quite wipe the smile off his face here. This guy's so charismatic. Look, he was always one of the best Terrans, just not, in Flash's spot.
Yeah.
But this might be his chance to do that. He's got to go through the best PV tier in the world right now.
Yeah, this guy is like the guy in StarCraft 1, if you're a pro, that you want on your team as a Terran player. Was a bulldozer in the pro league.
Yeah.
Never won an individual league,
Right.
but was so good that he's the type of player you want to practice with to win in an individual
He
league.
really is the dark horse for the Final Four. He beat
is.
Bisu, which was weird,
Yeah, didn't expect
unexpected.
it. Yeah.
Now, Best is more of a fixture. He's more, I guess you could put him in the pantheon of the Brood War gods.
Yep.
Definitely has his statue up there.
That's right.
Uh-oh.
He's
Is this the song I think it is?
I'm not
Right?
sure.
Get ready, sing with me. 10% luck, 40% skill.
I remember this. I can't remember it, but yeah.
50% pain, 100% reason
to remember my name.
name.
Yeah, there we go.
He does it macro like this, dropping reavers. I don't know.
Oh, man. Very much looking forward to Best's interpretation of this Protoss versus Terran meta. Hoping that we don't just see a lot of two-base Arbiter rushes. If the meta
I think he might have to, dude.
Well,
He's going to be playing
we'll
against
see
C, who's
some.
going to be rushing a lot. I think you actually just have to sit on 2 base 2 and match Terran.
I mean, I think that we will see a decent amount of him, but I would like to see a little bit more variety out of him. I hope we'll see.
I would like to see that too.
That, by the way, mentioning that he has a coach right now, and that coach is watching with Stork. I would love to be a Korean-speaking fly on that wall
That's
tonight.
right.
Holy crap. Someone that can coach Best and has intimate knowledge of what he's doing tonight, sitting there with Stork watching. Oh, my God.
That
So
is
sick.
crazy, man. Guys, tell your friends to join us. I know that everybody's super hype about the other side of the bracket. I think these games are going to be good. These games will probably maybe even be closer than what's on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to predict exactly how this is going to go as far as the score, because I'm kind of feeling 3-2 for Best because C has been playing so well. But
Thing
he
is, C
is
did beat
unbelievably
Bisu.
confident.
That's what's weird is, you know, it's almost like we should be reevaluating Best or C rather over and over again. We're almost like stuck in a way in this mindset. Maybe we're wrong, and it's actually C who should clearly.
I know what you mean, and Bisu is overall a better player than Best and has been historically, but Best PVT is something else. Like, Bisu's weak matchup, I would say, is PVT out of his 3 if he had a weak matchup, whereas this is like where Best kind of hits his superpowers and has always been extremely impressive. So, I mean, I don't know. I look at this and I like Best for it. I like his style. I like his legacy of this matchup.
It's time to start our match. This is a best of 5, a fight to get in the finals. C versus Best in tonight's ASL.
'Cause I've had enough.
In the bottom right, in the purple, our Terran player, C. It's like a mouthful of water, it looks like.
Muppet over here.
In the upper left, in the, what was it, yellow. Or it's actually, yeah, it's yellow.
And we have a boy band member versus a Muppet tonight. That's what it looks like. Tell me it's
funny.
not true.
He doesn't normally hold his mouth like that.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
There's definitely a hand up his back, you know?
Yeah, he's definitely into this. Well, I mean, that's some pretty sick micro, right? If you got a hand up his back holding his mouth.
That
and
means
then
that the
you
other
gotta
hand
use
is using the
sticks.
mouse. Yeah, and you got sticks on the...
You got to use sticks on their hands to use the mouse. We might see some sloppy micro
Well, it depends on
tonight.
what kind of Muppet it is. If it's a Kermit the Frog Muppet, it sticks. If it's a Cookie Monster Muppet, which it
that's
may
true.
very well be, then it's actually
It's two
one
people.
hand doing the mouse. Yeah, the other hand. Yeah.
It's Archon mode is what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how this goes down for him. Gate in the middle of the map. C going to set up his barracks and second depot, no doubt, in such a way to be able to hold on against Zealots.
So there's a lot of different rushes. There's a little bit more intricacy with the types of rushes when you do a proxy with Protoss in this matchup than out of all the other matchups and all the iterations of StarCraft. PVT, pylon in the middle of the map, can mean so many different things.
Yeah, it really can.
I mean, you can rush with a Zealot, you can rush straight up into DTs, you could do Dragoon rushes, you can do 2 gates, there's a lot. Now, it looks like this time he's going to do some kind of a pressure build. We don't have the gas yet, but usually when you make the pylon in the middle of the map, you're a little bit hiccuped on income. So you need to make the second pylon first, and then you'll get the gas later. Unless he does something really weird that I didn't expect, like make a Nexus.
And without a doubt, he'll always make at least one Zealot off of this proxy gateway as well. Try to put some sort of pressure on. And, depending on how precise the Terran is with their micro, sometimes they can stomp that first Zealot. But then again, every now and then you see a little bit of missed micro versus some great Protoss moves, and the game can start to spiral towards Protoss having the advantage.
One of the things that's great about doing a strat like this is that the Zealot gets away usually, unless you really commit because you're doing so much damage. The Zealot can run away, and
you can't chase it down.
Yeah, you're fine. The Zealot will run away from the Marines, and Terran can't really do that much. Now, the position of the factory, never mind. He got the depot up there.
Yeah,
he can rotate between that.
Really important, but he is building both of those buildings right now, which could be a problem.
Whoa! Oh, no! Even one hit on that Marine is huge.
And now the sliding probe.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Oh,
really,
my God.
Really good probe micro right there to slide through and continue to hit that Marine. If the Marine gets one more Zealot hit, it dies. So that was actually very important. This is a great SCV block, though, putting a ton of damage onto this Zealot.
Okay, he's going to whip back around. Fake move.
Oh.
That was nice. Comes back around. Now he's going to run back out and rotate the other Zealot into the front.
So far, this is going pretty well for Best, but C has some good counter micro. He's really good at micro at this point. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Wait, he can get that with the probe. Miscontrol there.
Very swift. Probe does move to the side, and there finishes the factory, and the factory finished pretty quickly. Like, he did not delay it as much as he really wanted to there.
Yeah.
So that Vulture coming out does put like a complete end to anything Zealots can do, but Dragoon, without doubt, on the way.
With really good control here by C.
Yeah.
The one probe, though, does manage to take out that Marine.
Yeah, the
second
probe did
Zealot
very
comes
well.
in. I'm surprised he sent this Zealot in here.
Yeah, I'm a little bit
You
surprised
usually
too.
keep this one back.
He's trying to suicide it on the Marines, and it's actually working better than it should have. The gas SCVs really block that. But because he's targeting on that, that's just so that when a Dragoon comes, he has an easier time pushing through. The Marines just kind of buffer against Dragoons and keep the Dragoons back a bit better.
Yeah. Zealot with a few Dragoons is way stronger than just a few Dragoons. The Zealot can soak up a little bit more damage if it does get up front. It deals damage faster than the Dragoon. That forces them to micro a little bit more. So he probably already knew that that was a pylon in the middle of the map.
Yeah.
For our StarCraft 2 guys that are watching or are more familiar with that, pylons don't die as fast in Brood War. So it's not like you immediately see that and just gun it down, especially with a Vulture.
No, certainly not. You're never going to kill it with a Vulture. That would be crazy. But I do like the fact that he walks out with the Vulture immediately because that forces one Dragoon to go back. Like, a slow Vulture can kill, like, as many slow Zealots as you have time for, you know?
Yeah.
And then kill all the probes. So you definitely, this is kind of like forcing him back, giving him time to get a siege tank out. And, you know, it looks like C is in a fine spot, whereas Best sitting here just adding a second gate and getting range.
Okay, moving out with Marines and a tank. Now, he wants to get this gateway minimum.
Yeah, he would very much like that. And I think he's getting mines probably with this Vulture. Yeah, he did get those mines. So
yeah, he's going to plant these behind here.
Yeah, anything that tries to run away. In fact, this one sees it, and that's pretty important. Just even seeing where the mines are laid is super important. And, of course, can pick off some of these mines as well.
Really good controller by Best. Now, he's going to sack the pylon of the gate. Oh, my God, it
he
got it.
slipped by.
That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah. Well,
He needs to, like, snap pull those probes. He's trying to actually outmaneuver. Okay, good job there.
He zoned him well enough that he could have had a hidden building, but he sees, like, the second gate and stuff, so he's not worried about tech being done right now.
He's not worried about, anything else weird coming out of this time around. Now, this is a pretty mild rush that we saw here from Best. This is a rush that's meant to gimp the Terran early, and Protoss just tries to stay ahead from there. So, losing the gate, not that impactful. He's expanding. Terran's expanding. This game is starting to normalize.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't really want to call like who's ahead or anything, but I do like C's position a little bit more. He has map control because he has those mines. So until there is a decent amount of Dragoons as well as observers out, C can kind of do anything that he wants, and he's completely safe.
Yeah, he's fine. I don't know about pushing over here, though. This is a little bit surprising.
Yeah.
Oh, sick!
Yeah, very nice move there by C, running those Vultures by. Definitely.
Oh, my God,
man.
this is actually so
And
bad. This
without
actually can end the game.
Yeah.
This actually might just be it. This is that aggressive style I was talking about with C. He's a tactical genius.
Yeah, this is such a fantastic move. That's basically game. Like, it's so hard for C to lose from here. He's not microing perfectly there, though. Looks like he's microing a different location, but yeah, just targeting these probes right now kills everything.
Yeah, and basically when the next Dragoon spawns out, I believe there's a mine down there. Uh-oh, he needs to micro this.
Yeah,
that's it. GG! C is doing it, man.
Yeah.
He's just too good.
It was a very good hold. I mean, the first Marine walked out, came around the corner, got hit by a Zealot, so it wasn't a 100% flawless defense, but it was a great defense. And I was surprised that, Best was all the way forward there because it was quite obvious that C would have quite a few Vultures, right? So
I think all Protoss players have been there. You start to get greedy sometimes when you're out in your position because the more Vultures you catch and the more you can kite back, the more ahead you are. But it looks like C really did his homework here on the way Best plays. He knew that those were going to be out here. He actually came in from behind, trapped that. Because, by the way, that's a risky move for C. If he comes out and the Dragoons are just in a really good spot and he kills off everything, then, Best continues to propel more and more ahead in the game. But instead, it was shut down quickly by C. And I've been saying this for a while now. C's got the scariest early game that you'll ever see from Terran, especially in TVP.
Pretty much. He definitely has a big range down there in that early game. And the thing is, that was definitely a mistake by Best, and he's probably looking at that right now and be like, why was I way up there right then?
Right.
Like, he didn't need the high ground advantage. It was kind of a scary push anyways, because if he doesn't have high ground, then he's going to be trading out Dragoons for Marines basically at the beginning there, but the thing is, if he's coming with just one siege tank, there has to be like 4 Vultures on the map.
Yeah. Well, that pretty much sums up that game. We're going to go to game number 2 after this short break and see which player is going to win that and get closer to getting to the finals of the ASL.
모바일이라고 들어보셨습니까? 다른 사람들이랑 막 싸울 수도 있어요. 우리끼리 막 협동해가지고 싸울 수도 있어요. 서로 막 도와주고 식이 물고기. 쩔었다 이거. 이렇게 스킬도 쓸 수 있어요. 싸울 수 있어. 이게 핸드폰 게임이야? 뭐 언제까지 줘? 제발! 아 내가 훨씬 많아 이거. 공격 도대체 어디서 나오는 거야 얘네들? 둘보단 셋이 낫지 않습니까? 지금 플레이스토어에서 설치하세요.
부산지도 아닙니까 이거?
와 7군데를 다 돌 거예요. 1번부터 7번까지 취득을 해서 시청자분들한테 나눠줄 수 있어요.
아 자갈시장 도쿄 도착했어요. 자갈시장. 오우 자 나오세요. 자 가면서 나오시고 2시간. 야 이겼다. 이번에 이겼어. 콜라보 어서 와. 바깥으로 나가야 될 것 같은데 일단. 클래스 있다면 4번. 아 좋아요. 타이페이죠 타이페이. 광안리.
괌이다.
괌. 야 이건 크다. 부산 분들 위주로 좀 드리면 될 것 같아요 내장. 오.
둘이서 쓸 수 있어. 귀엽지 않아요? 여러분? 오. 된다. 된다. 안녕. 붕어빵 사세요. 그거를 한번 볼까? 지금 나 혼자 신난 거니 혹시? 이거 귀엽다. 찍어도 되나? 진짜 예쁘다 근데.
We're back, and we're about to start game number 2 here with C versus Best.
Yeah, C with some really great play, deflecting the early proxy gate out of Best, and then just slaughtering him when he got out of position there. I don't think we'll see another game like that, though, because, again, like we were just talking about that before, C has complete map control, and Best can't really move around very much until Observers and a critical mass of Dragoons.
I think we're not going to see Best win this series if he's not really careful early on.
Yeah, if you
I mean, you just can't. I would not say that taking the proxy gate is really that much of a risk for Protoss. I think basically Best did everything right until his Dragoons are out of position, but you need to be really safe. Really safe until you have the Arbiter tech, basically.
You have to have completely precise defense of Vulture harassment.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like, I mean, StarCraft 2 is like this as well. Like, Terran kill probes fast. Vultures wreck probes quicker than basically anything in the early game with those Vultures.
The thing about Vultures is they die very fast with Dragoons. They can die fast as Zealots if you don't micro them. But if you get the Vultures set up with mines, or you get to run around the Dragoons, yeah, everything dies. It's that simple.
Yeah.
The Vultures take damage fast, but they deal damage even quicker, especially to the units that matter the most, the workers.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a good play by C. So he takes that first map, and we'll see if Best can kind of bring it back, but that snaps his winning streak, at least. And we'll see, man. I mean, whoever wins here gets to go to the finals. Such a big deal for both these guys.
Well, our next map is going to be Benzene. It's another full house here tonight in the studio.
Truly is. An hour before every seat was taken.
Yeah, it's crazy, too, because a lot of times I come down here, I'm not used to the studio filling up this fast, so I'll walk in and be like, oh my god, am I late? Are we about to start? And then I check my phone, and it's like, no, right on time. But my god, people are getting down here so early. And guys, by the way, if you're in Korea or you'll be in Korea and you're going to be here Tuesday, you better get here in the morning if you're going to be watching Clash for Jaedong. And I am not joking. I am not exaggerating.
I don't know how early you're going to have to come, but people were lined up for the Jaedong Stork match at 3, which is 4 hours before.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be much worse this time because Jaedong Stork is amazing, but Jaedong Flash is the best thing in all of esports.
That's right.
There is not another rivalry at that level, so that's going to be just the craziest.
Let's see how Best opens here. I think a game like that is good for Best to have happen early on.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely a reminder, do not take risks with those Dragoons.
Yeah.
Play it safe. You're Best. You're going to be macroing better than he is later on. Do what Protoss does best against Terran and start sucking up every resource on the map. do not take a risk. Don't get greedy because you might be able to shave off vultures from a lesser Terran player. This is C. He outmaneuvered Bisu, guys.
Yeah, that's very true. That 3-0 was brutal indeed, so Best has to bring his A game starting right now. You go down 0-2, you are not coming back.
Let's get ready. This is game number 2. C versus Best. A fight to go on to the finals to face off against either Flash or J-Dog. Over here in the upper right in the yellow, he is C. In the bottom left, in the teal, Best.
All right, tasteless. It's time to see. It's time for Best to show us what he's got.
Well, what is he going to do exactly? By the way, I do not think you should ever go Nexus first against C. That's the one build where I'm like, I really don't think that's safe.
Okay, it's like, if you go Nexus first, an old NBC game sweatshirt, that is a team that C was on back in the day.
That's right.
If you go for like a gasless expand and the Protoss has gone Nexus first, I like the Protoss position. If the Terran has gone into a factory rather quickly and scouts you before the factory finishes, I like that for Terran. You know, basically if you skip the machine shop and go Vulture Marine and send some SCVs, I think it's pretty darn hard to hold his Protoss. So there's some risks involved, no doubt, if he wants to go for a build like that.
We're still waiting to see what the build is going to be here from Best. Protoss have a lot more options early on than Terran, making them much more unpredictable. And those options can go from extreme all-ins to very cushy macro games.
Well, he's going for that Nexus first.
Wow, okay.
Let's see what happens. You didn't want to see it, but
especially on this map, actually, I really don't want to see it. But let's see. I'm happy to be wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong, and Best shows me something. I just didn't realize you could get away with. But this map, you could be pretty abusive as Terran on in one base.
Certainly, like you can go on the high ground and stuff and snipe probes, but with the timing of this scout, he can try a Vulture Marine attack against this. And like the thing is, if they go Marine SCV push, you definitely need some Zealots out there. When the Vultures come, that's when the Zealots get really screwed. Like again, like a Vulture. Any professional Terran can kill however many Zealots you want with one slow Vulture.
Even an amateur can, to be honest.
Yeah, really. It's not that hard. It's like it's a micro that you have to learn very early on.
Gets right through. Probe now going to peek around. He needs to check and see if there's gas.
Wow.
There is.
Okay, so this is a problem for C, perhaps? Nah, I guess he's still going to scout it plenty fast. He did go all the way up to the top, though.
Oh, he was looking for the proxy.
Yeah, like a proxy Reaver or something he might have been afraid of. A proxy
Reaver is quite strong on this map. Sometimes you'll see Protoss players run under that barracks, by the way, guys, just to try to make that not land. It's just one of these cute things you can do. It's not that great. But, especially if you're against like an amateur player and they lift the barracks up and they didn't make a Marine for whatever reason, it's hilarious.
Really you can lose games.
And then their factories make it and you just make a pylon over by where the add-on is and it's like, yeah, this is fine.
There he was trying to slide in his SCV under it, but actually messed up and had to lift it up again. But anyways, he's scouted what's going on, and now we'll see what he wants to do with this. He's only made a single Marine, so I think he's just going to make... Yeah, he has to go for a command center and just harass a little bit with the Vulture.
Yeah.
And this is actually something that we should have picked up on a little bit earlier. I guess we were talking too much, but just the fact that he was walling in. When you wall in, you generally make less Marines.
Oh, that's a good point.
Why you're walling in. In some builds, you want less Marines. It's just like it's a stylistic choice and a strategic choice. Like if you don't have a wall, You need the Marines to make sure you can kill whatever comes up. If you do have the wall, you can just sit behind it and have a siege tank and be fine with like 1 Marine.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
So
Looks like the Vulture might come out here for a little bit of pressure. Now getting that add-on, the extra depots. We'll have to now check and see how many factories does Terran make. Now, I think Best has reacted very, very calmly to this. He's getting a Robo right now before Dragoon range. It's important to remember that when you go for a quick robotics, or rather a quick Nexus, you're getting observers about as late as you possibly can as Protoss, unless I guess you went for DTs and tried to expand with it.
Yeah.
But your Robo's late, and if your Robo's late as Protoss, you're pretty uncomfortable. You don't know when or where they're expanding to. You don't know if they're making a bunch of factories. You don't know where the spider mines are. So I think Best identified what's basically happening here for Terran. He's just in a hurry to get that Robo up, start getting observers out. He'll be making observers nonstop for some time, at least the foreseeable future.
yeah, you're definitely very right about that. Adding the second gate as well. He's just got to watch out for any shenanigans that C wants to do early on here because he's got such a nice boost to his economy. So C might be looking to do something on that high ground, harass a little bit with some Vultures, maybe even pull Dragoons out of position to attack those Vultures, then run by on the other side. So there's a bunch of little tricks, basically, that C can try to pull off here to get an advantage.
Third gateway coming down now. It does have speed on these Vultures, and this is not a tight wall. In fact, he's going to be able to slip through, trying to block off that one. There is a Dragoon there on the ramp. The probes do come in here. Obviously, he doesn't want to lose too many, but he needs to have that wall there with the probes to try to block out the mobility there. So that was not badly handled by Best, but C did take out a few workers. Of course, that's less Vultures you have for a push later on.
Yeah, I like Best for that little engagement, to be honest. Like, there was a little bit, like the Vultures, as they went through, one of them got stuck behind a Dragoon slightly for a moment, and then one of them got stuck in the gas line for a moment. So there was a little bit of AI glitches that C didn't deal with perfectly there and didn't get quite as much as he really should have for 3 Vultures.
Yeah, agreed.
And especially considering Best macro is going to, like, get kick-started really soon here. He's been adding his gates. He's getting the observers out. He's kind of like crossed all his T's and dotted all his I's now. He's safe, so he can hit his macro, and losing any units at this point can be very detrimental for C.
We have the Academy on the way now. Terran Armory is about to finish up, and it looks like he is going to go for that quick Arbiter rush. The observers only just now headed over here to the east side of the map to see what exactly Terran has in store. And you might be asking, well, why wouldn't Protoss just take a third base? Well, he doesn't know what Terran's doing exactly. He doesn't know that there's an armory. He does now because he sees it, but he didn't know. I mean, there could have been Starport coming out with a bunch of factories trying to do some kind of push, and he drops into the main.
Yeah, but what he sees here is double add-ons going, so mines and siege mode probably on the way here. And, well, I guess he already has mines, so that would be Goliath range. But he's just teching up into that Arbiter tech that we've been talking so much about. And this build and how he's open and how this game has gone, this is obviously a great choice.
By the way, look at that placement. It's very subtle.
Yes.
Giant wall there on the bottom left. Just to keep any drops that might come in here. He's basically safe from them coming around from the bottom.
Because if you drop anything, it's most likely going to be Vultures because they are the quickest in and least risk, basically.
If you lose them, it's not the end of the world. It's like losing Zerglings.
Yeah, and the Vultures basically can't hit the probes unless they go way up, which means that Dragoon reactions are going to be way quicker and more powerful against it. So yeah, it's a great SimCity going on right now by Best.
Meanwhile, back here, for C, he's playing a lot more like we would see somebody like Flash play. I don't know if Flash should be diving in with the Vultures the same amount. C is definitely okay just shooting Vultures into your base.
Yeah.
But he's macroing up. He's got those add-ons. He's getting the Starport. He's going to be teching into that Science Vessel. This is in some ways a reaction to the 2016 PvT meta that we saw where they basically always go two-base Arbiter.
Yeah. Very much so. And he's had enough reconnaissance with these Vultures around the map, laying mines at expansions and stuff, that he knows that it has to be heavy tech going on because the third base just hasn't appeared. So, C, pretty safe at the moment, and he's just going to be taking a third. This is not for an attack. If he went to attack right now, I would be pretty darn surprised.
Yeah. One thing we do want to point out here is that both these guys are basically untouched in their respective matchups that we're seeing here. You couldn't really ask for a better PvT out of any two players in the ASL.
They've been Titans so far this season in this matchup. So really some of the very best TVP that you are going to see overall. The second armory is on the way, so we're going to have all those upgrades going heavily for C. And, of course, he will go into vessels when he starts to get that extra gas flowing in after the upgrades start. But, of course, you know, this is where, like, I really like Best's approach in this game. I really have to, like, triple underline this, because the only thing I was afraid of for Best in this series, Game 1 was, like, weird. I wasn't foreseeing a game like Game 1, but what I was foreseeing was going into 2-base Arbiter, and then having this weird little mid-game where you're having a hard time. They're like, everything's kind of on even footing, but you're teching heavy and his macro hasn't kicked in because that's where he gets strong. But with the Nexus first, that really changes what 2-base Arbiter feels like because he has that extra economic boost. So, like, everything is super safe. His macro's really kicking in. He's getting those Arbiters that he needs so badly. I think that this is exactly the type of way that Best needs to play if he wants to win this series. And taking that 4th base, I mean, I'm really liking Best's play this game, Tasteless.
Yeah, he looks really solid. And this is what makes Best so scary, is he develops so comfortably into a powerful position when you're in the later part of the game. And ask any good Terran player, a good Protoss that just sort of has all the parts there, didn't really lose that much early on, didn't really take that many risks early on, that's scary.
Yeah.
That's really hard. And Terran basically has to power it even harder into the later part of the game.
Yeah.
But that gives Protoss complete and total freedom. And Protoss can become remarkably abusive in that period of time.
Yeah,
they can start to put gateways places other than their main. They can start to set up, traps with locations like some DTs here, banking lots of Arbiters, getting Templars in a shuttle with Psionic Storm to blanket a battlefield of unsieged siege tanks and Goliaths and Vultures.
Yeah, this is all, like, super true, and because of that, C is going to have to really macro heavily. Like, we shouldn't see him take any offensive moves until at least 180 supply. By the way, everyone just saw him attacking one of his own supply depots. That's just for flow of rallying out of his base. With the way that he had walled there, you can get units caught on the lip.
Dude, check this out. He's actually ghosted that Arbiter
That's
just
tricky.
to the upper right. There's nothing there to see that. If he recalls that with another Arbiter onto the main, he can stasis a few of his own units at the ramp and start to destroy everything.
Like, if he just waits for C to start to
Oh,
move
my
out.
God!
Okay, that was so important that he checked there.
Yeah.
That is so important.
Where's
he has to go deal with that right now. Yeah, if he just, like, I think he has EMP. Does he have EMP? I'm not sure 100% yet.
No.
It's like pretty early.
He's actually going to go try to kill it.
Yeah, okay. Doesn't look like he has EMP yet because he definitely would have used it right there.
Now, the Arbiters are pretty beefy. If they weren't, they would never be able to recall at Terran bases. But he's going to send that out. But I don't think Best is too fazed by this.
Yeah, no, this was like a really smart move by Best. It didn't pay off, and I like that he was being patient. He wasn't just going to rush it. He's waiting for C to move. C's not going to move. That's fine. Pull the Arbiter back. Whatever. There will be other openings that Best can find.
Takes out that SCV now. Meanwhile, the Observer is finally gunned down in that location. Looks like Protoss is interested in possibly coming in here and trying to poke, or at least keep the other. Oh, that's cute.
This is a funny little move,
Yeah.
isn't it? What am I seeing here? He's got to be careful of it.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, he's going to be able to pick that right off. Another couple hits. Does back it up in time. Very on top of this Arbiter.
Yeah. He wanted to see if he couldn't just slip it back through there, but C never moved his units.
He just did a recall at the 3rd base.
Whoa.
That was not...
Oh, this is so bad.
Yeah.
The Zealots were stuck behind the command center.
Yeah, like,
it was like the worst possible location. He basically
and he
recalled into a wall in.
That was not a very good recall.
That was an impulse recall was what that was.
Yeah, well, what happened was he saw a ton of Vultures move out on the map.
Yeah.
Like when his whole army was in the bottom right, and he pushes back the Arbiter, and he's like, okay, so this recall isn't happening. I better go attack because I know where his army is. Like, it was a very good counter by C with the Vultures to pick off a bunch of units, but then Best is like, oh, your Vulture's out of position. I can do something here. But the position he was in with that command center building there,
he should have recalled on top
man.
of the tanks, but yeah, it was
He
an
got
impulse recall.
slained.
Well, he did not trade that at all. He just lost a bunch of units, and that's a play that might allow C to actually win this game because the push momentum coming out here, he's going to try to do another counter up here. This is pretty smart. This might actually force Terran back.
Yeah, it definitely could. There are rallies coming down. Looks like C wants to just pull back for a moment, utilize rallied out units to try to deal with this. And he will be able to deal with it. Like, if he keeps going with this main push, though, he could easily siege up and take that third base and cut everything in half.
Yep, he's going to get into this very important position.
His army is way better right now.
He needs the stasis and start to buy time.
Yeah.
He needs the stasis, the tanks. If he could get the science vessel, that'd be handy since Terran might be limited. Okay, he's coming in now.
Yeah.
Stasis, though, but on the bridge. That's a little bit awkward for the Protoss. He needs to come around from that northern bridge.
This was actually pretty well done by Best. I have to say that flank from the top with the Zealots, really giving him a lot of surface area to work with, and taking 5 Siege Tanks and a Vulture out of the battle with a single spell is pretty badass.
Really nicely done. He actually managed to beat that attack. Now, see, what's funny is if we had another Protoss player there, he might have lost the game.
Yeah. I was looking at this game, I'm like, this is definitely winnable for C.
Yeah.
But now I look at it, and it's like, okay, well, Best is on 4 bases. Your third base economy got a little bit gimped by that counterattack, and now he just slaughtered your army. So, like, C has to play a very long game if he's going to win now.
Okay, completely cleans up those tanks. Fruitless scan there. From the Terran. The problem is that Terran's third was delayed. Fourth base, by the way, for Terran is not easy to get on this map. You're almost stuck on 3 bases for a while. That's why we see Flash a lot of times push out like late on this map. He does not hustle on this map. In fact, this might be just a bad map in general here for C especially.
Well, in this
might
situation,
just be a bad map in general now that I look at it, but
I never cared for this map.
Yeah, I was not crazy for it, but yeah.
Okay, cleaning up a little bit with these Vultures, that's pretty good, and this is quite Zealot heavy, so this is a place where C can gain back a little bit of value, especially laying these mines.
This is really risky, having this many Zealots running through this many mines.
Yeah, Best, well, this is where Best is hitting his macro flow, and after killing that army, he might feel like he can just kill C. I don't know if that's actually going to be the case, though.
It might be. There's not that many Vultures here anymore. If he gets one more stasis up, or maybe he doesn't have the energy for it. Oh, yeah, you know what? He stasis those ones at the bottom, and the EMP will hit the other Arbiter. So he'll go back, he'll regroup. Now, in that time, Terran did take the bottom right, which is pretty beneficial.
Yeah, it's something that he absolutely needed to do. He has to have that 4th base to try to keep up here. Best really hitting a lot of macro at the moment. So many units being produced and moved across the map. But these attacks he's doing, like, he's underestimating C, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know, the amount of Zealots he lost on that little wave that he brought in, what did he gain? He pushed the Vultures back. C doesn't care. The Vultures are mobile. He'll bring them back. It's fine.
Yeah. Protoss is now moving back over to the center location. And in this time, scrambling here for C, he's actually going to be in a really good spot if the recalls don't start hitting those other bases. I mean, C's actually... This game's really seesawing back and forth, you know?
Yeah, it definitely is. And, like, the thing is, I look at it, and it feels like Best has made a couple mistakes in it with how much he's attacking. But, hey, he's taking his 5th base right now and flying 2 Arbiters around the map. He has one up top and this one down bottom heading towards the 4th base of C. So he could do some massive damage here as C's getting spread a little bit thin.
Here we go. Recalling another Arbiter along with that. Immediately that turret goes down, and so will all of these SCVs and the command center.
This is a fantastic recall. So much of his economy going away. A nice EMP does hit the Arbiter up at the top, so he's not going to have a completely split army, but this was very good work by Best.
He's coming up right now, hitting these locations. Now going to try to rotate over to the bottom center. Now this is a little bit dicey.
Yeah.
I think he might actually want to just park this in the back and stop Terran from relocating up here again.
He is hiding an Arbiter in that bottom right, so that's kind of a cute little move there. But there's a lot of Dragoons stuck. If C is just kind of patiently pushes those down, that's a pretty good move.
He's just going to go behind the minerals. Look at that. That's funny.
He's going to run away from these siege tanks, no doubt.
Yeah, he might try to run up into the main. We'll see.
Oh, the upgrade's 3-2 now. This is where it starts to get really scary for Protoss.
Yeah, Protoss just starts to melt. He has +3 attack, but siege tank shots against no armor Protoss. By the way, the Protoss don't normally have armor at this point in time. It's so much more important to get the Arbiters out and just mass up units and out-position the Terran.
Mech units do so much damage. The armor upgrades don't really do that much.
Oh, he's going to recall.
Oh! There's a lot of mines behind this, and there are a lot of Zealots here. But yeah, I like this recall. Doing a pretty good job right now, and he's really pushing C around, deciding where he has to go. Going to get that armory as well.
Yeah. I think C is starting to get dismantled pretty well. Now, is there still that Arbiter at the bottom? Or is that an Observer?
No, the Arbiter's gone at the bottom,
Okay.
I think.
He might. Dude, he actually needs to stop this attack up here, man. This is really scary.
Well, C is actually unsieging and going, I think. All right. He realizes that this is almost a lost cause.
Can we get one more?
Oh, boy.
My God, Best is so good. This is such a scary player right
He's
here.
got way
That's
too
it,
much in the middle.
Best is too good, man.
Okay.
And that was Best surviving early game and
Yeah.
flexing his muscle in end game.
That's what Best looks like when he hits his macro. And that was really surprising because the attack that C did that got slaughtered on the bridge, like, I did not expect that to get slaughtered. Normally that will do very well, but Best is a different kind of Protoss. He did the Nexus first and got himself into an awesome position, had so many more units than we're used to, and then even started attacking a little bit wastefully at times.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter. Even with that bad recall, you know, he crushes the attack, and then all the Zealots like running into mines and just getting over-aggressive. C doesn't die. He's like, oh, that's fine. I have like 5 bases. I'm macroing like a god.
With that awful recall from Best at the start of that game, where he recalled into the box scenario, I'm amazed that Best actually managed to hold on that attack from C. He just really knows where to engage, where to stasis, how to hit.
Yeah. He had a good split of units as well. The Zealots all coming in from the top. A great stasis on that bridge. Like, C was surprised that that push did nothing. Because that push, I was looking at that, I'm like, he might be able to get up here and take out the third even.
Yeah.
Like, set up a minefield and have this awkward position where Best really has to scrape things together to kill it. But no, he just kills it before it even gets there. It's really impressive PvT play here by Best.
Really is. Nicely done there by Best. We're tied up 1-1. Who's going to win this? It's really hard to say. We definitely have one player who's stronger in the early game and another player who's clearly much stronger in the late game. But the question is, how many more tricks could C do early on? Let's say C does win in the late game. That's insane. I don't know if he can do it, but...
I think that C has to change his approach here, maybe.
Okay.
Either early timing attacks, like very, very early before Zealot legs are done, or wait and basically do the slowest, turtliest push of all time to become completely cost-efficient.
We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, game number 3 in tonight's ASL.
Something new with the rain in your soul. Keep holding out for more. We'll keep rolling strong in the storm. It's just a matter of time. Yeah. Keep holding out for love. Keep holding your head above. It's a
마음이 가는 대로 즐겁고 신나게 쓰자. 캠퍼스 시리즈.
클래시를 BJ 팀 매치로 인사를 드립니다.
되게 운이 좋은 것 같아요, 항상.
밤새 연습하고 지금 올라왔어요.
메가민이
아니, 이건 도겸이 못 스타일이네요. 갑니다.
땀 흘렸습니다.
아,
자, 이걸 어떻게 세레모니.
세레모니. 힘이 가져다주는 힘이 어느 정도까지 지켜보겠고요.
부캐라고 말씀드릴 수 있고요.
대단한 역전극입니다. 근데요, 도겸 팀입니다.
그래서 오늘 두 분이 경쟁을 하는 거예요.
부산 전체를 돌아다니면서 저희가 7개의 시청자 여러분들 다 뿌리도록 하겠습니다. 4번이요. 도쿄, 넌 내 거야, 짱! 4번. 오케이! 정답입니다! 아, 예! 운도 좋아, 운도. 화물 뺏겼다. 그러면 5대2로 가자.
저희 입수하러 갈게요, 저희는.
한데 스노우에 파면은 가장 좋은 기능 중에 하나가 실시간으로 적용되는 아이템. 나마띠. 스노우의 기능이 어마무시하죠 진짜로. 원반입니다. 빵 로모띠. 저한테 채팅으로 보내주시면 치킨 5마리를 뿌리겠습니다 시청자분들. 라이디오 오빠 사랑해요. 급식이야? 와 센스.
상당히 애착적이었다고.
실시간으로 친구들이랑 가족들이랑 이제 사진 보내주고 같이 함께 꾸미면 더욱더 이쁜 스노우의
댄스 이도와의 결성 무대를 시작하겠습니다.
그런 의미를 담은 그 댄스 퍼포먼스
이 무대를 마음껏 즐기시는 모습을
계속 춤추셨으면 좋겠어요. 꼭.
1등은요 축하합니다. 2XC
축하드립니다.
와우.
Tasteless and Artosis are back. The round of 4 of the ASL. Right now, it's tied up 1-1 with C, Arteran versus Best, our Protoss.
Yeah, very nice that it's tied up 1-1 to start out, but I gotta say, like, C looks very good. He just has to tighten absolutely everything up because Best has a different level of macro. Best looking much better in that second game.
Well,
good build order choice, I think. You know, you just kind of block absolutely everything. Even that little Vulture run by, those 3 Vultures could have gotten a lot more probes, especially if he didn't have that Dragoon on the ramp, that's for sure.
Now, what exactly does C do? I do feel like if you look at the strengths of both sides, I would be betting on Best here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would definitely be leaning more towards Best is overall stronger. He just has to side on the err on the side of caution, you should say. Whereas I feel like with C, it's almost like he has to start getting really crazy and creative if he is going to get aggressive.
Yeah.
I just don't think C has a strong late game as Best.
Well, I think that C can make it through that late game if he's waiting for 200-200 every push.
I don't know if he can do that kind of style of play, though. Not like Slash, at least. We'll see. Anyways, guys, tell your friends to join us. This is a fantastic night. What do better players ask for than C versus Best in a fight to the ASL Finals? Got Terran music playing.
Best music there is.
It's C. In the bottom left, in the brown. You do it. You do the wow wow.
Very good.
Taze is on his air guitar.
I literally walked down the aisle to that music.
Yeah, you did.
You were there.
I was at your wedding.
Yeah.
Whoa. That is a sick DT. That is a sick drawing of Artosis.
That's just a blank piece of cardboard that I see, Tasis. What are you even talking about? What, do you have a detector?
Yeah. I'm a Protoss, man. I'm the observer floating over the audience.
Yeah. Well, I don't have my scans built yet, so I didn't see anything there.
Oh, Artosis starts making a turret. He's rotating randomly around it. That DT comes up here and just slashes him in 3 hits and he dies. Got some non-Korean support here.
Yeah, he's
but
cheering for
Rin and
best.
Hungul, yep.
So
you know, it is funny, but when you get to any, or at least in so many cases, you meet an expat living in Korea who's about our age or older. So many of them were into StarCraft.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Whether they're following it or not, you know, now they're all like, well, no, I got into Korea because of StarCraft.
Yeah,
that was pretty much the non-Korean gateway drug
to Korea.
To Korea.
What else
yeah.
did Korea really have
it
back
wasn't
then?
as known for much else.
Yeah, no, it was.
K-pop wasn't even as big back then, you know?
Yeah, and this was like the biggest thing out here. So, yeah, a lot of people, older people, do appreciate some good old StarCraft 1. That is a fact.
Good old B-dubs.
B-dubs.
B-dubs. BW.
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 Trying to think of a George Bush joke, but it's not coming to me.
Oh, let me think for a minute. What is there? Cheese me once. Shame on you. Cheese me twice. You never cheese me again. Or you can't cheese me twice. What is that? Fool me once.
I can't remember
exactly. Fool me twice.
Truly butchered, though. Truly butchered.
I wish we could have gone back and had George Bush, the StarCraft caster.
Oh, that would have been fantastic.
But what we really need is Donald Trump, the StarCraft caster.
Oh my God.
His macro is fantastic. Everybody can't stop talking about it.
What is he doing? This is a fake push. Oh, man.
Player Flash. Nobody has more respect for Flash than me. Look at his play. Nobody can believe it. Nobody can believe he's got play like this. And I alone can cast it.
I would love to see him and you hype up a game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great game. The game is going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. This game is going to be great. JJ. I'm like, wow, that was the sickest cast of all time.
You also have to do those pauses that he does where it sounds like he's going to use a big word and then he uses like the word of a third grader. You know how he does that?
Oh, my gosh.
It's really, really great players.
Oh, man.
All right. So we have a pretty standard. This is about, I don't want to say milquetoast here from Protoss, but this is about as middle of the road safe as you can do. Pretty much anybody who plays PvT can do this build. It's Nexus with a few Dragoons into range, into Robo. I have seen some cases where people, if they think Terran's going to be pretty soft early on, they'll get Robo before range, but I think generally you just get range before Robo.
Yeah, but he could be in some trouble because this is an aggressive play here by C. He's blocking any scouting of his expansion with those Marines right now, and he doesn't have an expansion. He's actually just going into 2 factories. So this is like something that you don't see super often, but any Terran that's willing to mix this in and really master this build is super scary because this will catch a Protoss off guard if they want to do anything like tech up a little bit too fast. He's not going to have many units in comparison. You're going to see probably 3 tanks, I want to say, and then just mass vultures rallied in and then some Marines in front and maybe even an SCV brought along. And, I mean, that is a really scary force to deal with. You're going to have to micro like a god and really have a lot of units, but he is adding 2 more gates. That's really important that he's doing that instead of any other tech buildings.
Yeah, and this is, again, if you wanted to practice a build online for PvT, this is do the build Bess is doing. You can lose to pressure builds, though, like what C's throwing up here. It does come down a little bit to finesse on both sides.
Yeah.
Not as much hard countering in Brood War as it is kind of everything can kind of counter everything depending on how you can control it. There are certainly advantages and disadvantages, but it's not black and white.
Now look at this push. He does have the 3 tanks. He has some Marines with him. That is everything to push back Dragoons. Look, the probe's coming up and it's going to see it. Now, this is going to scare Best a little bit. He's got to prep for this immediately. He knows what this is. This is, he thinks most likely right now that this is a 2-fact. So, like, this is a great build by C. He's just got to control it perfectly now.
Okay, he needs to keep pumping Dragoons. Get observers in position. I don't think you get a shuttle. I don't remember how to stop this build, actually.
You just got to micro your Dragoons really heavily.
You don't get any Zealots at all?
You have to micro perfectly against the mines, basically, and try to kite the Marines until they're dead without taking too many siege tank hits. He actually has a shield battery on the way, a good move as well. He's going to target down these mines. That is so important. He does have the observer out, so that's important as well. The probe's coming and actually helping to clear out these Marines.
Oh my God, his control against those mines was so good.
Yeah. And with the shield battery, that is so helpful. A great move here by Best. Look at the blocking on these vultures. That is fantastic. Still 3 siege tanks kept alive, but that is a lot of Dragoons left over. Oh my God, Best.
You know, it's so funny.
Oh my God.
Long ago in the early days of Brood War, the shield battery was a joke.
Yeah.
Now, in this season of ASL and the last one, we've seen critical moments where they get a shield battery to actually hang on.
That was super important. The probes were awesome, the pullback of the Dragoons. And the thing is, C got a little bit over-eager with that push as well. His Marines were getting surrounded by probes. The tanks were not connecting that much. They were sometimes hitting buildings and probes and stuff.
Right.
You need them connecting with those Dragoons with that push. Like, it almost would have been better if he pulled back just a little bit, you know, maybe even target the pylon. But looking at this situation now for C, this is very tough, and that's why he's building 2 command centers. Right? Isn't that 2 command centers?
That should be a command center there. Yep,
yeah,
that is.
And he's building them on location.
I'm like, that's strange. He's making an eBay there.
Yeah. He's making them on location because he can't waste any time. It took so long to get a command center, and yes, he killed a few probes in there, but overall, you look at this game, Best is in great shape. That was such an awesome hold.
So, right now, there is an option for Best to try to be aggressive and bust him. 3 command centers like this down the road. Protoss, if he gets a shuttle, if he starts to push out here and he feels safe against vulture counters, you can actually drop on those tanks and kill him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you don't have to. That's the thing. You can also just expand on your own.
I like the fact that he's taken a third base. He's walled in his natural completely, so there's not going to be any run-bys. And the one thing he knows, like, you can't make a starport right now. So there's not going to be any drops his main. He doesn't even have to worry about that. All he has to do right now is get to what he wants to win this game. The Observer going to tell him everything he needs to know about the macro count. And, like, Best is in good shape. But, you know, you let a Terran, you know, start to actually saturate these 3 bases, and you don't break them, they're going to just add a ton of factories suddenly and have a wall of defense that you can't really get through.
Yeah.
The thing is, no matter what, Best will get into his macro here.
Well, that's what's so scary about it, is that some of these other Protoss players, even when they get into their macro, they're not in good form. Both PvT and TVP, you can get to where you need to be and be horrible at that phase of the game. You'll see a lot of Terrans. They have the upgrades, just like Flash does.
Yeah.
They can't move out of their base. They can't control their army. They don't know when to hit. They don't know when they need to go all in and jump on the Protoss versus go back and counter. And same for Protoss. They'll have the whole map. They don't know how to engage the Terran. Their army melts like an ice cream cone in the sun, and they just lose the game. They can't control their arbiters. They don't know where to recall. They don't know when or why to recall versus stasis.
Wow.
Wow.
I love these risks by C.
Well, you know, he's going in the opposite direction. C does not play standard TVP.
No.
He's actually plays basically around everything that we understand about TVP, and it's giving the Protoss players a run for their money.
It's a truly strategic play what he's doing right now, like adding that 4th CC off of just 2 factories. And this is where Best, he's adding the Arbiter Tribunal, so he should be taking another base. Because the thing is, his Observer sees the timing of the additional factories. There's nowhere else that you'd be having these.
There's no gas at the third, right? There's no gas.
On this map, no.
So, he has to get a third base to keep Arbiters up and have the right balance of Dragoons and everything else while still teching.
Yeah.
No Forge, though.
He's added 3 more gates. He could just be looking to pummel through the front, but he should be taking a 4th. Okay, he does take the 4th base. And just seeing, like, how unit light C is, I feel like he needs to start building, like, buildings in front of his stuff for walls. His unit count is going to be very low. There's going to be a moment in this game where Best has so much more than C that he needs a lot of stuff in the way, screwing it up.
So the way this works for Protoss, it's a little bit different for Terran. Once they have the add-ons in their factories, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on the Sortosis, because you're going to know this one better than mine, you're pretty much making tanks out of the factories.
The later you get, you're going to want to, like, if you're not moving out yet, you want a lot of tanks.
Yeah, you keep banking tanks. Now with Protoss, it's a little bit different. Protoss will peek in with the Observer. If he doesn't see a large amount of factories, or he sees, for instance, like a 4th command center, sometimes they don't make out of the gateways. They'll make the gateways, but they're actually just still making probes and nexuses. And they wait, because you'll get maxed really fast with Protoss. You can actually get maxed in about 11 minutes and 20 seconds if you do it right with Protoss. And I completely and totally mean that. It sounds like a lot of people will be like, no. I used to like coach nerds in Brood War, and they'd be like, no, and I'd be like, watch, and I just do it, and it'd be right at about 11 and a half minutes.
Yeah.
If Terran's not going to touch you, you can do that, and all you have to do is keep making probes, make the minimum amount of Dragoons, and then you halt production, and boom, 3, 4, 5 macro phases come out of those gateways, and you are maxed.
Yeah, and if you're good at, and that's called powering. If you're good at powering, it gets really scary indeed. But look at this. This is a lot of siege tanks right now. He's trying to get up into his full tech, and C has a lot of things he has to get done right now. He needs to make sure that 2 armories are going. He needs to start science vessel production. He needs to make turret rings. He needs to lay spider mines, because Best will have every weapon. With the way that C has played this game with a failed 2 factory rush into quick 3 additional bases with late factories, he has to defend against every single possibility before he moves out. Everything.
Winter is coming.
Yeah.
And that is going to be Best. They are going to be the Nightwalkers, right? Wait. What are they called?
Nightwalkers.
What are they called?
The White Walkers.
White Walkers, Nightwalkers. It's the Night King. Sorry, guys. I really am a nerd, guys. You got to believe me. I do play video games, read fantasy books.
Jeez. So who won the sports ball game last night, Tasteless? I know you know.
The one with the pig skin?
Sure.
I don't know.
You're like the Bulls. I'm like, that's the only team you know. You are a nerd.
Yeah, no, there's going to be an onslaught of abuse from Protoss. And that's in part because Terran chose that kind of opener early on. And we're going to have to see. Now, there is something I want to point out here. It's pretty important. The Protoss, because he's in the bottom left, has all his gateways down there. That's a feature, not a bug, of these positions in this matchup. Ideally, Protoss want to have gateways in another main. But the Protoss has equidistant pushing range to hit those locations, so it's harder. So Protoss is going to have a tough time after the 5th base getting an expansion.
Yeah, like if you're closer to the Terran, then you kind of expand away from the Terran, and a lot of times it turns into a refugee toss play, whereas this can't quite do that. He has to rely on the distance between bases to kind of have those extra macro rounds.
Okay, well, he'll clean this up pretty easily. Nothing too dramatic. Oh, but that's why you do the drop. He's going to get all these probes. This is huge.
Yeah, picking off quite a few there. That's a very nice move by C. He is on the map and showing some force right now. Those are not the Sea Chanks behind, are they? Okay, yeah, no, never mind. I got the colors wrong for a second. I'm like, is he bringing the Sea Chanks? Those are too slow to be Vultures or Dragoons. Anyways. Now, he's spending quite a few Vultures here, just trying to do something to Best. He's getting a kind of a feel of what Best has. But he's still not ready to move out his actual army. He does not... Look at that. 5
Oh, my God.
He doesn't have enough defense against this right now. Like, I really feel like he needs the complete turret ring with spider mines everywhere. Some gates being made in that top left base. Do like seeing Best starting to go in that kind of direction.
This is kind of crazy. He's got him bunched up like this. None of those are hallucinated, right?
No.
These are all real. So 1 EMP will wreck that.
Yeah, if he hits like an EMP.
Okay, he's just gonna actually like try to step on him like a bug here.
Oh my God. Okay.
No, they are hallucinated. Sorry, guys.
I didn't see any High Templars in that main base.
Oh! He actually hit the recall before. That was activated before the EMP that activated on the Arbiter.
Seems fair to me. It was still moving when it got EMP'd and still had the recall comes out. Explains a lot of the losses I had that I didn't feel like I should. But no, this recall comes in, and the thing is, C hasn't left his base, and I think Best was looking at this and saying, I do need to get in there and do something, but he's not going to leave his base until he's pretty secure. But C has so many units there, this doesn't really do the type of damage that Best is looking for.
Now, some of you guys might be watching this and wondering, like, why do Protoss do this? Because it seems like it just gets cleaned up eventually and they lose all these units. It keeps Terran honest on the map. Terran can't leave his base and start pushing. And the Terran army is basically getting stronger and stronger than the Protoss' army. Yeah. So what you're doing is you're throwing units in here, and even though you're losing minerals while you're doing it, Protoss expand at a totally different rate than Terran do. So Protoss can actually use up like 60% of the minerals on a map to stop a Terran player who's got 20% of the minerals on the map.
Yeah.
To drown him out. So it actually works.
Yeah. definitely have to take into consideration like the scaling of units through time. Like mech scales better than anything else in the game, really.
Right.
Except I guess the unit called the Defiler can screw up everything. But another recall goes into that fourth base. A lot of Zealots. He does have quite a few Spider Mines set up here, though. They don't really do that. Okay, that was a pretty good connection with them. And C will be able to clean this up, but this doesn't cost Best that much if he gets all these bases mined that he has Nexus is at.
Yeah, and while he's doing this, he's expanding to the upper left. Now, the Vultures are coming up. I don't believe there's actually, there's not really anything to help protect that up there. Sometimes you want to get like a DT or something like that. You'd be surprised. One DT can screw up the Terran pretty badly. But these Zealots are coming up now. He's got to try to avoid those Spider Mines as best he can.
Yeah, the Vulture's actually doing a fantastic job at the moment, clearing out all these Zealots very, very quickly and preventing any mining. In fact, all the probes were pulled off of that main base, and the Vultures never even went up. I think he was expecting him to run up and snipe things. But
Protoss has kind of done a lackluster job handling these Vultures. There's a lot of units lost. This is more units lost than there was in that recall, just to point out. So he's really having a hard time with this. Now, Terran is eventually hungry to push out to the upper left. By the way, I'm a little bit surprised he didn't actually expand to the bottom right. Top left is interesting for Protoss to take because he wants to make sure that the Terran has a harder time expanding towards that upper left location as well.
I think part of it also has to do with, you know, the down ramp that goes to the fourth base for Terran. You always wall that completely with depots.
Oh, is that wall?
So there's no flow towards that. That's really great. Like, you have to come out, like, the third base area, and, like, pushing down is a little bit easier because your rallies are generally right there where we see, you know, in
that's
front
a
of
really interesting point. Okay, Artosis, I like that.
Yeah.
I accept that, Artosis.
The like, flowing mech units into rallies and attacking is definitely because you're not quite as mobile. It's like, it's just kind of gross to rally them out correctly there, I guess. Anyways.
Oh, sick.
Oh,
so look at that star sense, man.
Yeah.
Well, where would he probably EMP me? Well, most likely up there. The thing is Protoss is continuing to pump out these Arbiters at a crazy rate. No kills on that Vulture, so there was never an attempt to expand down there to the bottom right.
I would like to see that eventually, but right now Best is kind of stabilizing against all this harassment. He's thrown in a lot of recalls and tried to slow C down in that way, but there has been some good counter pushes by C with the Vultures around the map.
Now, he might be able to get in here. It depends on where he recalls, because he could recall right on top of those mines.
This might not be the most effective. There's a lot of mines in there, and quite a bit blows up right away. These siege tanks getting a ton of pot shots right now.
Really well set up minefield over there. Trying to come in now. You know, the tanks are not really going to be killed off here. This may trigger the push. That the tanks guys are way stronger than the Dragoons and the Zealots.
Yeah.
He might not even have to siege at this point in time. Best may just be run over.
Well, you know, we thought that he was going to get run over in the previous game, right? It kind of looked like that after some failed recalls, but Best has a lot of map. He has a lot of gateways right now.
I don't even think he's maxed out, though.
No, I wouldn't say he's maxed out right this second. He needs another round or two for sure.
Remember, guys, only 12 units on a control group. Jesus Christ.
That is so many. When you get that many siege tanks,
crazy.
You try to get anything near those things. Oh, my God. They are only 2-1. Just throw it out there. Every plus attack does a lot of difference for siege tanks.
Protoss is basically running away at this point in time. He's trying to draw the army away from that upper left location or the center left location. Looks like he's left a small army down there to try to push that. Pretty smart.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. He's kind of like he's acting like he's going to attack the Protoss army and then hitting one of the bases of Protoss. So that's really cool. But the Arbiter's flying in right now. They want to do another recall. This is the 5th base of C. It's important, but not a lot is there at the moment.
He's going to try to recall right up here. Now, the thing is, some of these are fake. So it's like, which one's the real one?
I think it's one on the right there.
I think it's that. Yeah, here it is. And he's going to be able to stasis on the ramp. Can he get the stasis on the ramp?
This is a big deal right now. Does he throw down that stasis? Oh, he actually brought some Psystorm with him.
Oh, my God.
That's awesome that he brought Psystorm.
That is
you
so
sick. So much trying to go up this ramp. Great Psystorms going down on these siege tanks. Fantastic recall. Oh, my God. The value here for Best is amazing.
That is crazy. Morphing 2 Archons right up there. The cloak is still active. He's killing off all the units. Meanwhile, the center left is being pushed over here by the Terran.
Yeah, he is trying to kill a couple of these bases. That center left and 6 o'clock are under attack, but Best rallying out so many Zealots. He's going to be able to easily clean up this and save that base.
Oh my God, Best is everywhere. This is the best PvT late game in the world. This is the best PvT late game you will ever see.
It truly is, Stasis. He is looking fantastic at the moment.
Dude, that might be checkmate.
Yeah,
he actually can't get more units out. And he's running out of tanks to push that high ground. Granted, there's no storm, But, I mean, he can
Yeah.
recall again later.
he got rid of the storm, that is for sure. But you're right about that. Like, even once he stabilizes his main base, he's lost a lot of units, not as cost efficiently as you need to as a Terran player against this many bases of Protoss. And look at that, even picks off the Science Vessel. You just saw the head shake of C. He knows that he is basically dead. He is not going to be able to stop recalls and push the map at this point. It's too much.
Well, he's got,
In fact,
that's like most of his tanks right there.
Oh, man.
It's important to note that scans do start to run out here. So if you get hit by an Arbiter and you're not ready, because you're scanning the whole map trying to figure out where they're at and looking for Arbiters.
It's also funny because each comsat needs its own hotkey.
Yeah.
So you'll run out on the ones that you do have hotkey because you can't hotkey like 6 of them. That doesn't make sense. It's too many hotkeys.
Fastest Arbiter in the West.
Yeah, that's...
Here we go. There it is.
Well, that's what we were talking about. You can't really stop all these recalls and do anything else. So if Best just continues this type of play, just so hard right now for C to get anything done. He's dealing with this quite efficiently, which is nice, but he's having to send units to his main base. He is losing units. The one saving grace for C is he does have this 5th base. Best didn't finish it off.
Scary time here for Terran. The bottom right has now been acquired. He's making gateways there. That means there's going to be 3 points in which Protoss units are going to be flowing out. That's really tough to deal with.
Okay, a lot of units rallying over, but C has a big chunk of his army over here right now. He should have 3-2. Yeah, he does have 3-2 at the moment, so his upgrade's looking awesome.
So this is this wonky phase of the game where Protoss has the much weaker army, but Terran lacks the mobility. Protoss is upgrading behind this, so you will eventually have 3-3 Protoss units. They don't normally get shields, but we'll see. The Vultures are desperately trying to come in over here. He needs to take out this location. It's so important for him to wipe this out, and it doesn't look like anything's coming back to try to save this. In fact, Terran's just pushing down here. This may trigger the Protoss to attack in the top center.
Yeah, that is what it's looking like he is going to do. There are supply depots in a wall there. I'm not sure how many siege tanks he left over, but if he can break this down, just 2 siege tanks. Good minefield, though.
Yeah, it's a little wonky to get those units to attack in over there, but if he can just beeline right up to where those tanks are, and that's what he's doing, he's going to try to draw some mines into that location.
Yeah, and don't forget, if he clears this all out, everything here is actually a line of defense against Arbiters hitting his main base again.
That's
so
true.
It opens up even more options for Best to attack if he erases this base.
Yeah. Although I gotta say, Terran's trading pretty well, just considering the position here. More tanks are coming down, but yeah, Protoss is definitely in control of this spot on the map. He's gonna move this up here and take out the command center. Keep in mind, 1 less scanner to use.
You know, I gotta say, watching Best right now is giving me the worst form of nostalgia, reminding me what it looks like when a great Protoss player plays against a great Terran player. Really, his army looking so much stronger than the other Protosses that we've seen try to fight against C so far.
It looks like he's going to try later on to recall over in that bottom right location. Now, Terran did take out the gateways there, but the problem is Protoss is mining from the entire left side of the map. And the only location that Terran is actually mining from, by the way, guys, is the center right.
Yeah.
I guess there appear to be some mineral patches at that natural for Terran.
Yeah.
I would assume those are almost completely dried up.
No doubt about that. Very, very few SCVs can be left over there. And now there's this other avenue that is opened up for harassment, that top left area. You don't want to have to build a second row of missile turrets to protect a main where half your buildings are already on fire. This is very rough for C, but let's not forget, he did take out the bottom right with his Vultures. That was a really important move. The thing is, I think he actually didn't kill any of the probes down there.
There were no probes down there.
No, he hit them in the bottom left corner.
Oh!
He pulled them away as the Vultures were coming
I'm sorry. Good job, Artosis.
So that's like, the thing is, he was able to, as soon as the Vultures left, he was able to restart the Nexus, which means that's going to be an almost fully saturated base.
Oh, that was such a good stasis, and that was mostly on Vultures to make the Zealots much more equitable in a situation like this, continuing to come in right now. More units are rallying across the map, and this appears to be the killing blow. GG!
So good. Just a fantastic game out of Best. But we got to give C his props. He failed a 2-factory rush. Really quite failed it, and then went 3 command centers off of 2 factories. I love the balls. I love what he tried to do with it.
I love his balls too, Artosis.
Yeah. Best, though, I mean, this PVT is second to none.
He is the scariest player in the late game. What he's doing, guys, is not easy.
No, we've seen other Protosses try it.
And a lot of times they'll recall in the wrong location, they'll attack in and get a bad engagement, everything melts.
Yeah.
everything dies. But Best is completely calm. He knows exactly where to hit. He got that hallucinate out so quick. That's not common to do. Well, I mean, we've definitely seen it before, but the way he did it like that, right away, coming in there, letting all those come in and tank. And then I think the highlight of that game was the recall on the ramp with a shuttle full of Templars with Psionic Storm. It was anybody's game until that happened.
That was the backbreaking moment. You are going to clog so much trying to get up that ramp with all those buildings away and stuff, and those Psi Storms were cash money.
Cash money.
Oh, man.
That was everything, man. No, he really did an amazing job. I am blown away by how good that was.
And I love that we finally saw someone get Psi Storm in this late game. We've seen a huge lack of that, but it is such a helpful spell. I mean, it
proves to the micro. I got to agree.
Yeah.
Really good control.
By the way, definitely something that you can see in Best's play that some other Protoss lack. Not only is he macroing so well, but when he gets in these fights and his Zealots start to close on tanks, he splits them to different tanks.
Yeah.
And that makes them so much more powerful, so they're not taking the splash damage. They're causing tanks to fire everywhere. You want tanks to have concentrated fire, not hitting Zealots on each other all the time. I mean, his PvT is just so good.
Yeah, he looks really strong. I gotta say, man, I don't know. I think C has been downloaded here. As long as C is deflected in the early game, Best becomes way too powerful. We're gonna take a short break. When we come back, we're gonna go to game number 4 in our set tonight with C versus Best.
로드 모바일이라고 들어보셨습니까? 다른 사람들이랑 막 싸울 수도 있어요. 우리끼리 막 협동해가지고 싸울 수도 있어요. 서로 막 도와주고 식인 물고기 쩔었다 이거. 이렇게 스킬도 쓸 수 있어요. 싸울 수 있어. 이게 핸드폰 게임이야? 뭐 언제까지 줘? 제발! 아 내가 훨씬 많아 이거. 공급 도대체 어디서 나오는 거야 얘네들? 불보단 셋이 낫지 않습니까? 지금 플레이스토어에서 설치하세요.
부산지도 아닙니까 이거?
와, 7군데를 다 돌 거예요. 1번부터 7번까지 취득을 해서 시청자분들한테 나눠줄 수 있어요.
아, 자갈시장 도쿄! 도착했어요, 자갈시장. 오우, 자, 나오세요. 자, 가면서 나오시고. 2시간! 야, 이겼다! 이번엔 이겼어! 콜 한번 거서!
바깥으로 나가야 될 것 같은데 일단.
클래스 있다면 4번! 아, 좋아요. 타이페이죠, 타이페이. 광안리?
괌이다!
괌. 야, 이건 크다. 부산 분들 위주로 좀 드리면 될 것 같아요, 내장. 오.
둘이서 쓸 수 있어. 귀엽지 않아요? 여러분? 오. 된다. 된다. 안녕. 붕어빵 사세요. 그거를 한번 볼까? 지금 나 혼자 신난 거니 혹시? 이거 귀엽다. 찍어도 되나? 진짜 예쁘다 근데.
What's up, guys? This is the ASL round of 4. Best versus C. Right now, Best is up 2-1. C needs to pull a rabbit out of his hat, a dropship out of his hat,
Perhaps.
a science vessel out of his hat.
A battle cruiser out of his hat.
No, he pulls that out, and then the Dragoons kill it, and he loses.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's how that matchup works.
A ghost out of his hat.
Nope, don't do that. Don't do that. Definitely don't pull a ghost out of your hat.
No, certainly.
Nuclear launch. He's dead.
Pretty much. Trash unit. Decam fix, please.
If you can't pay attention to the ghost of Brood War, what do the game? Look at these nerds. Look how many happy nerds there are.
Yeah.
Yes, give us Brood War. Give us what they want.
Definitely quite a full studio here today.
We're
But
just
you
above
can
that
make
shot.
it in today, so that's...
Yeah, you can. Just put about $500 in the caster desk, and you can come down to the studio.
All right, man. Will...
There's some poor nerd outside. But Tasteless, I only brought in this 6-pack of beer. All right, man, you're cool. You can come in too.
But I thought it was free. Get out of here.
All right. Best is probably feeling pretty confident, especially when a Terran pulls a fast one like you on that in game 1, and then you just smash his face.
Well, there was
game 2 and 3.
The amount of important things that happened there, right? Because it started to come out, and you couldn't tell completely, and then he flanked the probe upwards to double check.
Yeah.
And that's what triggered the readiness of being, have his units in formation, plus the shield battery. And then the probe, like, that hold, oh my God. It was such a good hold. If I'm
tricky.
C there, I'm like, yeah, I can kill him with this. It's definitely a possibility. No! Slam!
If you play a lot of PvP, you face that too, where you come in there and you're like, oh my God, I'm just not getting in there.
Yeah.
His Dragoons just killed everything. Let's see what C does now. Can C win in the early game, or can he pull out a miracle in the late game? That's what he'll have to do right now, because Best, currently the greatest Protoss vs. Terran player in the world, the greatest Protoss vs. Terran player alive. Because we know there's a lot of dead Brood War players, because this game is so old, guys.
Yeah.
That's right.
Old age
Anyways,
gets us all.
game number 4, Best versus C. In the upper left, our yellow Terran player. He needs to turn the series around. It's C. In the bottom left, in the red, our Protoss player in the lead, Best.
Quality of these games out of Best. It's magnificent. C's playing very well, but I mean, he's about to do a forward somersault with how low his head is again. What the?
It just turns into a roly-poly.
It's like watching his lap. So we look down, he's got a cell phone in his lap. He's watching Best First Player stream. We do have that on AfreecaTV, by the way, guys.
Yeah, you can watch.
You can watch
First
this guy's
person.
First Player literally right now while we cast.
Just keep this tab open.
Yeah.
Let them know you care about the English cast.
Indeed. Wait, there's
I know
another
so
stream
many-
without you boneheads on it? Oh my God, give me.
Where's the stream where I just play whale sounds in the background? That's what I want, not these two jobbers talking. Some nerds are complaining about the graphics right now. Who are these guys casting? They're like 40 or something? I'm like, listen, little
Not
kid.
yet,
I just
not
like
yet.
call up his mom and get his internet taken away. That's what's better about being older than you.
Convince his mom to take away his
He's trying to talk back to me. I get in the car that I own and drive away. To my house that I own full of video games where I live.
You know, this is. I love this idea that you're passing, but I do have to mention that you don't own a car.
I don't own a car. I know, that's true. I don't own a car out here.
If you drove
I
a
ride
car,
the
it would
train
be
like a
highly
common
illegal.
man. Yeah.
Tace is just a kid like you guys do.
That's
don't
right,
worry.
man. Sometimes our Artosis comes over to my house, has a slumber party. We stay up all night watching Home Alone 2 and talking about girls.
I'm still afraid of him, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Oh, so fun having Brood War back, Tasteless.
Yeah.
It's just such a wonderful part of my life. All the parts are so wonderful.
Artosis 2017, all the parts are so wonderful.
That's right.
Yeah.
All the parts of my life. The moments of my life that make up my days.
Yeah.
It's a great thing.
These are the days of our lives.
Yeah.
We're all alive.
Someone's life is just a sum of the StarCraft games that they played and watched.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what it really, truly is. And let me tell you, I will die a happy man one day.
Yes, you will.
Well, actually, I'll be scared and not like it, but at least I watched and played a hell of a lot of StarCraft games.
Oh, that's so funny. The dark hint of honesty there. Oh, so funny. So he's going to have, excuse me, he has a Zealot at the ramp here. That's to stop the SCV from coming up. So sometimes it's a fake, but usually it means he's going to get like a Citadel or a Robo Bay. But you can actually fake it out so you just play completely normal. Is he going to make anything? What is going on here, Atosis? There's no Dragoon range. He does not have any tech. What is happening? Is he tabbed out?
I don't know, man.
What is happening?
What hiding a base?
Oh, my God.
Okay, this is super sneak.
Is weird.
He's a Sneak Lord 5,000 right now.
He is a Sneak Lord 9,000.
This is
with cloak and camouflage and Solid Snake's sneaky suit.
Yeah, no, this is about as tricky as you can get.
Okay, so
because if you get down there and you don't see a Nexus, you start making turrets and stuff. And you're making turrets against a Protoss that just expanded.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad. That's like, that is not
I guess
what
you can
wanna
cross
do.
your fingers and hope he flies an Observant much later on and it dies because he's bad. But other than that, you don't really have much going on for you.
No.
So I named those two things because those are basically the two forks in the road that you could take. But yeah, theoretically, you could just hide a Nexus. If it gets spotted, you're in trouble. But if it doesn't,
yeah, the odds of him actually scouting that are super low. Like, he'll walk this forward, and watch this. Best will make sure he sees that there's no Nexus and doesn't get up the ramp.
Oh, my God.
Okay,
pull that back. Don't show that.
See? See? He made sure that this SCV got through on purpose. He sees no Nexus. Now C is scared. Like, you can stop and, well, I mean, it's 6 shots, but he didn't deal as much damage as he could, and he made he wanted the SCV to get to the ramp and die to the Zealot, because that just screams that he's sneaking something. Look, an Engineering Bay. He doesn't want an Engineering Bay. He doesn't need Marine upgrades. He doesn't need turrets. What he needs right now is to either, like, be greedy or send units out or something, but, like, this is a great mind game by Best. Just a great mind game.
You see that C has actually stayed back. He's only looked at the periphery of his base to see if there's anything right outside. He's going back, probably anticipating maybe even a proxied Reaver or the DT to come in here.
There is quite a few things that this could be, and he's sending this Vulture down now to check. I mean, he's just going to see a few units. Should be able to check that there is no Nexus as long as he clicks it right. Oh, that was... He was trying to get into the main base. That was a little... Well, he sees that there's no Nexus still.
Yeah.
So, yeah, see this? Turrets, mines in here. This is such... Like, the amount of money and resources, like these mines, he needs them out on the map. He needs to have presence. He needs to be harassing the pylons, you know? Like... Best has so out-mind gamed him. It's crazy.
Right now, C is just a duck, and Best is in the bushes, completely in camouflage with one of those little things that makes him sound like a duck. He's got a gun.
He's got a duck collar, and he's got like
a big Duck Dynasty beard on.
Yeah. And he's got like some dogs that are ready to go get him too, and he's got a bazooka.
He's just like wah, wah, wah. Well, Best is over there like
he's making his little. And so when C hears that, he starts making his little duck turrets, and like they aren't going to do anything.
Wah, wah, a duck that wants to mate. Wah, wah, wah.
Dogs and humans don't fly, so like the duck turrets are just
Best loads 2 bullets into his shotgun and goes wah, 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 and starts to point it at C. C doesn't know. C's been completely duped.
Yeah.
Best, the illusionist Protoss.
He so doesn't know what's going on, man. I think he might start figuring out now, because anything would have come by now. Anything on one base would have come. Literally, there's like, a DT drop would be there by now easily. Reaver drop would be there. And look at this. He sees this. He's like, oh, wow, there's a line of turrets and mines.
It's working.
Sick move, C. Like, those turrets are just so not useful.
See, he's got depots in the upper left ready to block, like to literally physically zone out the ability for a Reaver to drop there. Uh-oh.
C's head jerked just a slight bit when he saw that. He's like, okay, that was a sneak.
I was following the wrong algorithm.
Yeah. Well, this is what it looks like when a Terran gets scared. You can mind game Terran players like this.
Oh, yeah.
Because like,
this is a super tricky move here, too.
If a Protoss is doing a one-base thing like a DT drop, you have to do what C did there, or you will die. So as soon as you get scared as a Terran, you have to throw up all the safeguards, because otherwise you might lose the game.
And by the way, you can not do this very often, almost ever in your professional career, because if you do this too many times, everybody just knows about it.
Oh, yeah.
Never forget who XDS Kiwi was on the WG Tour ladder when everybody actually was able to
he just
download the
hit bases,
replays
yeah.
and he was just hiding a base every game. He got to rank 1. Did not stay there, man.
No, certainly not.
Nerds started calling other nerds on their speed dial. Start checking the other mains, man. He's hiding the CC.
And you find it, and it's a free win. But it's interesting that he's used this here. I feel like this shows some good respect for C, because Flash will be so damn ready for this if he hits him in the finals, right? Like,
oh yeah,
he doesn't see an expansion. He might go looking for, other expansions around the map while building that eBay.
Yeah.
And there's like little tricks you can do if you actually are kind of suspecting they're doing something like that, like not finishing turrets and canceling if you don't find it. That saves you a little bit of money. Anyways, we'll see how C wants to try to come back from this. Like, he's making a third base. The thing is, he doesn't really have any options for attacking because he made so much defense early on.
More gates. Really good shape, right? The scariest part about this is not just that, oh, C got tricked and, Best got a base up, C did the wrong build. It's the fact that this sets Best up for strong late game, and Best already had the greatest late game in PvT. So
he's so scary. If you look at these games, he got into a great late game by going a Nexus first build, right? And it was very well done, all of his defenses there. Then he got into a late game by perfectly defending a 2-factor he didn't know was coming until it was halfway across the map. And now he's gotten into the late game by just, doing a tricky move, making C think that it was a rush. So you look at all these together, it's like, God, this guy is so scary.
There is a trick you can do where you can plant mines with vultures bunched up and glitch them over the pylon. That's what I thought he was going to do, but he attacked the pylon, and Best was like, watch this, man, and made a gateway behind it. Yeah, I think C is a little bit taxed right now emotionally.
Yeah, I don't think he had mines left on those either. I think he set them up.
Oh, did he skip them? I'm sorry.
I'm not sure if he has. Well, I think he might already laid them.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was going to say, no, he had to have mines.
I know he has a mine upgrade, but yeah, like, jumping over, it takes some time to do, and, like, you can't hit it 100%. Like, it takes a few tries sometimes. So if you start screwing it up, like you've had this with Protoss, there's ways that you can jump over a Terran wall-in with a pylon.
Remember when I tried that against you and I did it 4 times?
Yeah, you did it 4 times. And then it's
like, this is stupid. Right?
Yeah, you lost too much money, and it was this. That happens sometimes. You try some of these tricky jumps. It's not like the rocket jump. It's not like 100%.
No,
but when you get it, it's sick. You get 2 vultures over that, it's like, oh, C's ahead.
You glitch a probe over their wall in and just see if they're going 1-fac or 2-fac. You're like, okay, good. I just respond now.
Yeah. So 4th base already going up as C tries to get SCVs over to his 3rd. The amount of gateways is awesome. He's already going into his Arbiter tech very quickly. Everything looking better for Best than it is for C. But, like, we saw from the last game that C can get into this supreme late game with good upgrades and stuff, but it feels like one of these games where he is going to have to set everything up before he moves.
Yeah.
The turret rings, the spider mines, everything.
So I would say C from here on out has handled this very well. It's just like, it's rough because you know that it's going to be a serious beating up ahead. That you're going to have to handle really well. Okay, you know what? That's the play.
Handsome.
Look at that. That's how you do it.
Oh, handsome play. Really shrekking that economy. That was a lot of probes. That was like 12 probes.
That was really nicely done. Plays like that.
Whoa. I love it.
Carriers.
Yeah. This is not something that you would necessarily expect now.
This is a reaction specifically to losing those probes, I believe. He lost those probes.
Okay.
Sometimes if you lose a bunch of stuff like that, you're not going to be able to macro at the same rate Terran can. He makes that. Now, maybe he just intended to do that all along, but it seems like just the fact that those probes were immediately killed off. Wait, did he have a Templar Archives?
Yes. He does have Templar Archives.
Then that's a reaction to the. Because if you're going to go for carriers, a lot of times you will get Templar Archives later. You don't have to. But
well, this wasn't the original plan.
Yeah, for
sure. This was not the original plan. But you know what? The thing is, like, C is in this position where he probably just has to turtle up for a while. Thing is, I'm hearing scans, and there is a chance that he scanned the main base. If you see that he's going for carriers, you're going to do way better against it. But I mean, you get 4 carriers out before the Terran knows, and that's like a. Oof. That can just be a win straight
what's
up.
funny about it is that he gets some arbiters here. So a lot of times in the Terran player's mind, and this is completely reasonable, is once you see arbiters, you're going to see arbiters for the rest of the game. So what he does is he gets 1 to 2 arbiters out,
Yeah.
and then he just
Makes
banks
it look
carriers.
normal.
Yeah, it's a super sneaky masked build.
Yeah.
So smart.
And his economy is big enough he can kind of do everything at once right now.
Now they're going to get some Goliaths against the carriers, but not enough against. I mean, against the arbiters.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but not enough against the
Yeah,
carriers.
you're going to have like 4 to 6 maybe, and that's not enough for 4 carriers for sure. But like you can get into mass Goliath production. They build reasonably fast. They're kind of mobile-ish. It just matters like when he sees the carriers and how many there are. But like this, if this goes later and later, and C can't, like C's gonna have to do something relatively soon, because with this big of an economy and the fact that he already has Arbiter Tech and he's going carriers, you're gonna eventually hit the Finger of God, which that's like a comp name, okay? Like you think that you've seen Death Balls?
Yeah.
You haven't seen Death Balls, okay? Arbiter Carrier, and then you have a little bit of Psystorm underneath that.
That's
it's called the Finger of God, because it just touches things and they die, and there isn't real like
There's
it
not-
is so crazy what it can do.
It's so technical to get to it that you should have been
it's
able to
hard.
stop them before they got to it. But
The game normally ends before you ever see that comp come up.
Yeah. Okay, now he's going to come in here. This is a Psystorm drop? Am I right?
It might be, yeah. Like it definitely could be.
Is he going to be ready? Ooh. Okay, well, that's never going to happen now.
Yeah.
Go back and regen those shields.
Okay, the Arbiter flying over the side.
He will probably not recall into the main, I think, if you're going to go for carriers like this, but maybe he's maxed out and he wants to free up supply and make the next 3 carriers. Let's see.
Or just slow him down, make all his units go back into his main base or something like that.
This specific style of build, I'm not good at. I don't quite know how to do it just right, so I'm not sure the way you're supposed to play it to get to here. You know,
he has a single observer, I believe, in the main base over the factories, and there's not like any mines over there, but there's mines everywhere else. So this could end up being a folly for him.
Well, the funny thing is that it will, no matter what, after it's taken out, trigger Terran to push, and he'll push into the carriers. You know, that's actually fine.
Yeah, that actually did very well.
Yeah.
Not really losing a lot to the initial mine, so this is going to force like everything back. The Vultures are moving out immediately into the map for C, so this is also a good reaction from him. He's trying to get out there and mix it up, since most of the Dragoons will be gone. The Vultures can rail through Zealots so easily.
Command center being built over there. So he's drawing this army back. Now, with carriers, guys, once you show them, once you've shown the carriers, the game changes. So the longer you can wait with the carriers and then reveal them, and see he wants these tanks to come out.
Yeah.
He wants the tanks to come out. He wants the carriers to kill all of them.
Yeah, if the tanks overcommit down the map and the carriers come out, he will end up losing all the tanks.
Right.
Or almost all the tanks.
Yeah.
The thing is, we might see C get a ton of damage on God, that's a good amount of carriers,
Yeah,
man.
what is that, 6?
Oh,
5?
it's 4 or 5, I think. It's hard to see exactly.
So you
but-
actually want to punch.
Did he scan it? He has a lot of Goliaths right now coming out of his main.
Oh, maybe he actually saw it. Sorry, guys, we don't see what they see.
Okay, this is like 6 or 7 carries. This is very scary. How much at plus attack? They have at least plus one attack?
For sure, at least.
They might have plus 2, though.
That's also another thing. You can actually always scan the cybernetics core instead of looking for the actual carriers. And if
That's
you see that spinning,
very true.
Yeah,
That's a
then you
great
just
way to
know.
check. In fact, some Protosses, when carriers were in vogue, would hide another cybernetics core to upgrade off of because of that. Because that was such a good way to check. Okay, here we go. We're going to see these microing around cliffs mostly.
This is not the best map for carriers, which is why it's unexpected to do this, is because if the Goliaths get under the carriers, you can just kill them. Now, if you get enough Goliaths, you can just hold position and you actually kill all of the interceptors.
Yep. And the interceptors do cost a decent amount of money, so it is a definite way to utilize this. Pushing forward with those siege tanks, though, he's getting right into this rally area from the main base. And
I think
he's
might have
eliminating
enough
a
Goliaths.
lot of interceptors here, man. A real lot of
I
them.
actually thought that he was going to try to go around, but yeah, I mean, he's going to have to go back and rebuild. Okay, but this is another great play. If you go DTs while they're going carriers, especially if you can start to take out some of their command centers or just gun down their, what do you call it, the scanners, they might not have enough to deal with this. So he's actually, whoa, what is he doing?
Huge mistake, a
What
huge
is he
mistake.
doing?
Oh, this is gold right now for C, picking off these carriers. This is such a big deal for him. 2 of them go down, fantastic.
Oh my God, C's going to win this game, I think.
I think you're right,
I
Tasteless.
think now he needs to get those carriers back to where the ramp is.
He's got 4 bases, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I
these
actually
carriers
thought-
are scary, but the map is wide open enough, and
Carrier's
C has
more
done
like-
enough damage with this that I think he might be all right. Like, still 4 mining bases, but C's got that as well. Oh my god, another carrier kill. That's huge!
So the thing is, sometimes what you want to do with the carriers is as they push out, you go around, you take out the 4th base, you go towards the 3rd, and then you keep making DTs, and if you can just gun down the science vessel, it's harder for them to take you on with scans. There is a way for Protoss to play from here, but I think that Terran handled this too well. Oh my god!
One of the big ways to try to... Oh man, yeah, that wasn't very good. If you can like do some turtle moves with carriers. They actually have insane range. So if you have like them on high ground with high Templars, the Goliaths can't really engage you that well. So it becomes kind of like a game of sniping siege tanks that are trying to snipe your high Templars. But I don't know if he has Psystorm even. We haven't seen a single one yet.
No. Well,
a couple up here. A couple high Templars.
Whoa, good targeting.
Yeah, definitely want to clear those out. Carriers coming down to help out.
Now the cannons with the carriers and Dragoons with the carriers are pretty handy because the Goliaths are not strong against either of them.
Yeah, and he has his full interceptors back, it looks like, so he's going to be able to pick off quite a few of these Goliaths. He does grab that science vessel you were talking so much about.
It's important because the DTs later on become very handy with this.
Yeah, I love the siege tank with defense matrix on the ramp right there.
Yeah.
Kind of buffering and giving vision. Another attack down here to take out quite another Protoss base. But
now,
he is going to end up getting all these siege tanks tasteless.
And so the DT is going to come out. He scans, though. Now, yeah, if he gets all these Goliaths, or I'm sorry, rather siege tanks here, after he takes out the Goliaths, of course, that's problematic as well.
Yeah, there might be just too many Goliaths that are being rallied out, but Best's economy is down to just this mining base that he's trying to defend. So that's the real problem here. C just has a bigger economy.
Yeah, well, I think that C is really beginning to wipe out everything. I mean, it seems like there's a chance that Protoss holds on, but Protoss does not have any resources.
Yeah.
Like he will get underneath or next to these workers and actually kill off all the probes. That's it. GG.
Wow.
We're tied up 2-2.
Crazy.
The finger of God has been denied.
Yeah, not quite getting up to the ultimate comp that he wanted. See,
that's right.
Oh, look, the recall was an interesting move, and we were wondering why he was doing it, but it feels like that is such a big part of this.
You know what? I wonder if it would be better to keep the Arbiter out there, get stasis, and when Terran does push, you start to stasis the Goliaths.
I see what you're saying. For me personally, as like a Terran player, and what I would find the most difficult to deal with, the thing is, like with that group of units, the Vultures will be out in front. Eventually, you're going to pick those off. It's going to be like Goliath tank against your carriers, and that's when you really need ground units in there to mix it up. Like heavy ground units. And he lost most of them with that recall, and the recall didn't really do that much.
That style of play I'm not super familiar with, like a lot of the other styles of Protoss play we have here. Now, remember, guys, that was Best actually trying to pull not just one fast one, but two in a game.
Yeah.
He got out the additional expand. Then he went to Arbiter Tech, faking Arbiter commitment, going into carriers. Now, the reason why carriers are so unexpected on that map is because Goliaths are basically stronger than carriers on that map. You can get right under them. There's not enough ridges to hide behind.
There's some clever places you can attack. We saw him above that main base on the right side trying to attack the 4th base to see. That's like a good place for carries. But yeah, generally speaking, like a lot of the maps where carriers were strong in the old days had, you know, a lot of ledges, a lot of cliffs and areas that it was hard for the Goliaths to really get under them.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to win this now. I think Best has to go to a super vanilla style of play.
Yeah, he should
Strong,
revisit
safe Protoss.
some of his older, some of the previous games that we've seen here, the non-carrier games most likely. It is going to be Eye of the Storm once again, by the way.
We are going to take a short break. When we come back, the final game between C versus Best.
Just another brain on the campus, just another man in the field, just another tall pile of papers, making it crowded in here. Someone else's work in your thesis, someone else's words in your mouth, someone else's hard work and research, taking you up in the world. Oh, never leave me out, I'm standing by the sidelines. Oh, never leave me out, I'm standing by. I watch it all from afar. Heaven help me. I watch it all fall apart. Heaven help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. I watch it all from afar. Heaven brain on the campus. Just another set of ideas. Just another theory in motion. Waiting there for you to steal.
마음이 가는 대로 즐겁고 신나게 쓰자. 캠퍼스 시리즈.
클래시를 BJ 팀매치로 인사를 드립니다. 되게 운이 좋은 것 같아요 항상.
밤새 연습하고 지금 올라왔어요.
메가미니를
아니
지금
이거 도겸이 못 살리네. 감사합니다.
땀 흘렸습니다.
아
자, 이걸 어떻게 세레모니
힘이 가져다주는 힘이 어느 정도까지 지켜보겠고요.
부캐라고 말씀드릴 수 있죠.
대단한 역전극입니다. 도겸 팀입니다.
그래서 오늘 두 분이 경쟁을 하는 거예요.
부산 전체를 돌아다니면서 저희가 7개의 시청자 여러분들 다 뿌리도록 하겠습니다. 4번이요. 도쿄 넌 내 거야. 짠! 4번.
네.
오케이. 정답입니다. 운도 좋아 운도. 화물 뵙겠다. 가자.
저희 입수하러 갈게요. 저희는.
그런데 스노우앱 하면은 가장 좋은 기능 중에 하나가 실시간으로 적용되는 아이템. 나마띠 스노우앱 기능이 어마무시하죠 진짜로. 원판입니다. 로모띠 저한테 채팅으로 보내주시면 치킨 5마리를 뿌리겠습니다 시청자분들. 라이조바 상해요. 급식이야? 와 센스.
우리 사전에 초청했다고.
실시간으로 친구들이랑 가족들이랑 이제 사진 보내주고 같이 함께 꾸미면 더욱더 이쁜 스노우에
댄스 위드와의 결선 무대를 시작하겠습니다.
그런 의미를 담은 그 댄스 퍼포먼스
이 무대를 마음껏 즐기시는 모습을
계속 춤추셨으면 좋겠어요. 꼭.
1등은요 축하합니다. 2SC
축하드립니다.
와우.
It's time for the final match of tonight's ASL. After this, we will have one of our 2 finalists.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
We'll be that much closer to crowning the 2017 current greatest StarCraft 2 or StarCraft 1 rather player in the world.
And I mean, it could be one of these guys with the way they're playing tonight. Fantastic play. Like the moves that they're making, the counter moves. These games are being won and lost off of like a single move sometimes. It's so fantastic just how decisive these guys are being.
Best seems to be unstoppable as long as he stays within the boundaries of a standard PvT. C, he's won games in the late game, but only when Best is tricky. He's won in the early game with finesse and tactical genius. I don't know where it goes in Game 3. It's going to be on the same map that happened in Game 1. I can't imagine C would win the exact same way. So what does C do?
Yeah, that's the question, right? And that's what Best is probably going to have to figure out. I don't think we're going to see Best cheese. I think he wants to probably get into a normal game, but that's the funny thing, too. If you're willing to do something crazy in a Game 5, in a final game that is so important like this, sometimes that's what it takes to have a victory.
Yeah.
Remember MVP? I mean, he's like, oh, is this Game 7 in the finals of GSL? He's like, okay, I'll just go 2 racks and try to cheese him.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa!
Sometimes the most unexpected move is the one that's going to give you the best outcome.
Yeah.
Maybe what we're predicting here will feed too much into one of these players' heads. You know, we're looking at this and trying to dissect this and figure out the best strat. Maybe it's the opposite that you want to do.
The worst strat.
The worst strat.
But that's the best way for a Protoss to beat a good Terran.
If Protoss makes 2 forges on one base and just prays, maybe he wins.
He's getting armor and shields. I'm like, what?
Whoa. Get ready, guys. This is game number 5. C versus Best of Protoss versus Terran in a fight to get to the finals of the ASL. Wow. Which one's he going to pick? He goes C first. In the bottom right, in the yellow, our Terran player. C.
Such a big moment for him right now. This guy has no championships.
In the bottom left, in the red, our Protoss player, Best.
Best as well, lacking in truly fantastic results. One of the best Protosses ever, of course, but
probably the best PvT if you get to the late game.
Yeah, he's got the best macro, and that's like so much of it. And we see so many of his moves are fantastic as well. Like recall with his storm on the ramp. Oh my god.
See, he's in Korea, so everybody's like, yeah, of course it's not. It's like, oh no, you got to go on the StarCraft Reddit and understand what that's all about.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is crazy, guys.
Oh my god.
Is he going BBS?
BBS.
Oh my god. This is such
Oh
madness.
man, this is like...
It's like, oh shoot, everything's unbuildable in the middle. Okay, so that is... He's kind of like hedging bets on where he might be, so he's a little bit far away.
Gate first.
This doesn't mean that he won't win with this. This is definitely still a situation where he can get a victory. Okay, so BBS, this destroys the Terran economy. You can build your barracks before the supply depot. He's doing 2 of them before the supply depot, which means he has almost no economy, but it's fast, it's powerful, and I mean, Best could simply just not make enough units and die to this.
Yeah. By the way, this is, out of all the variables that Protoss factors in, this is probably the lowest probability one. This is actually a build you a lot of times do against Zerg. I don't know if it's the exact same timing of it, but you normally rush the Zerg and just run them over. But it's so fast now. I don't know. Do you know the strat that well? I don't know. Do you pull SCVs with this at all, or do you just rally Marines?
You're probably going to rally Marines and just utilize your 2 SCVs that you have out there.
Okay.
Because your economy is really, really low. You can probably send a couple SCVs with it, but it's pretty darn all in when you go BBS as opposed to BSB or SBB.
Or SBB.
Yeah. Smash Brothers Melee.
The Scapcaster.
Okay, so this probe actually out there kind of hiding. It looks like he wants to be tricky, but trickiness doesn't matter because C's not actually scouting for anything except where his opponent is. Oh my god, that's
really
such a big deal. That is such a big deal.
Now, remember, guys, Best has no idea. This is like so unorthodox.
This is like, both of them are like taking risks here. And look, he's even building a depot out here just to, again, triple underline how all in this is. But the fact that he's going Dragoon range and 2 gateways gives Best a fantastic shot at holding this.
Now, he's hiding a pylon out there. That's not going to play as much of a factor because it doesn't really matter. This game's going to end before that can happen. But again, he's not going to know this is coming until right when it gets there. Now, Dragoons with range can kite Marines. It's harder than it looks, but
one thing he's going to want to do is get this probe over near some minerals ASAP.
Bunker!
Oh my God, here we go. This is huge. Starting that bunker, he's going to have to pull his probes very, very quickly. He's going over here, going to start in the gateway. The pylon has too much health. There's no point. Starting to target down these probes. Sends the SCV in front of the probes a little bit, trying to body block. Oh my God, he's killing so many probes. This is huge by C.
It looks like the bunker's going to finish.
Oh.
If he gets the bunker up, he can get the gateways. The probes have now been pulled down. He's going to try to get right where the Dragoons are going to spawn. He's going to try to go for a trap. Zealot.
That makes it even harder. He needs to save this Dragoon. That Dragoon is the most important thing in the whole world. It's only got one Marine hit left on it. GG. Holy crap.
C takes a risk and it pays off.
Wow. We were literally just talking about MVP making the same type of move in the finals. Well, this isn't the finals, but C goes to the finals,
That's
which
right.
for him, this is so important. If he could win a league right now with all the legends coming back, amazing.
man,
dude,
oh man, that was a tough call.
Both, I have to hand it to both these guys. This was the best series that we've had so far in the ASL. They both showed a gigantic variety of builds, a huge range of play. Great micro, great macro. This was a fantastic series by both sides. It absolutely could have gone to either player. Wow.
Damn.
Just wow.
I mean, he just did the most unexpected build. If you get the SCV, the second SCV, Protoss can hold that. He really stacked a lot of probes on that. And then, by the way, the play by C to get down where the Dragoon is going to spawn and do too much damage to it is immaculate.
Yeah.
Because even if you lose the gateways, as weird as it sounds, if you have 1 to 2 Dragoons out and they have the Dragoon range, it's too hard to push onto the Nexus. It's too hard to get to the probes.
You know, a lot of this as well was decided by just the choice of build orders. C went for the double proxy racks, and Best was hiding tech at that pylon. He had started something, I didn't quite catch what it was, but that delayed him starting Dragoons. If he just had 2 Dragoons popping out as that gut there and then range finishing, range outranges the bunkers, like you keep making Dragoons, and it's fantastic.
I'm so happy to go to the finals. I've always dreamt about being in a final stage. I'm just so happy. I'm going to do my best to prepare. Your song is now playing.
근데 이제 결승전 상대가 너무 강해서
Are you aiming for another championship? Yes. Whoever comes out is going to be a really strong opponent in the finals. I don't know what to expect, but I'm just going to prepare hard. By the way, we have our Korean casters interviewing him right now. Last season you were in the semis, this time you're in the finals. You're getting better and better as each season moves on.
막 준비를 많이 했다고는 볼 수 없어요. 그런데
Yeah, I can't say that I practiced harder than last season.
12월부터 갑자기 좀 운이 좋은 것 같아요. 그래서
But from November of last year,
결승전까지 한번 이어.
I think I've been getting lucky.
오늘 가장 기억에
I want to
남는
carry that
경기가
luck into the
어떤
finals.
경기였습니까?
솔직히 말하면 두 번째 경기는
Which set stands out to you the
잘못
most?
막았어요.
I would say it was set number 2.
원래는 좀 통할 수도 있었을
I made a mistake in blocking my entrance to my base.
두 번째 경기가 좀 기억에 남네요.
네. 특히 그 마지막 경기에서
That's the stat that sticks with me the most, and the one I regret the most.
들어갔는데 두 게이트에서 병력이 없었을 때 그 느낌은요?
예?
그 들어갔을 때
Tell us about the final game where you sent the Marines and you didn't see anything that spawned yet.
아니 일단 자원도 좀 제가 잘 캐는 자리가 나와서 그래서 이거 설마 통하나 했는데
I like my spawn location.
그 통해서 너무 기뻤죠.
와, 그래도 마지막 경기인데
That's why I decided to go for an attack like that.
즉 실패하게
BBS.
되면은 정말 이른 시간에 질 수도 있는 그럼
I had a good feeling from the start.
빌드를 꺼내는데 아무런 아예 후회 같은 거 아예 없이 그냥 주저하지도 않고 그냥 선택을 했던 건가요?
How did you decide to go for the BBS build? It was obviously so important.
역시 자유로운 부담 없는
I didn't think much. I saw my spawn, I liked it. I had that build prepared, and I decided to execute it.
여기서 이제 정리하고 컨텐츠 간다? 그 의미인가요? 아니면 오늘 이번 신주도 이렇게 잘하는 그 원천, 그 힘, 그 이유
Why do you think you're so strong this season?
일단은 사실 요즘 이 얘기 안 하면 좀 그분이 삐질 것 같아서 철구님이랑 또 이렇게 하고 나서부터 되게 많이 잘 되는 것 같아요. 모든 게. 그래서 대표로 이제 철구님한테 감사하다는 말 드리고 싶습니다.
네. 그리고
After I defeated Chogu, who's a very famous streamer on AfreecaTV in the round of 32,
그냥 물어보는
I think
거예요.
everything just started working out well after that.
김태경?
I gained a lot of fans and a following.
없어요.
자, 그러면 이제
And new fans got to know me better after that
이제
match.
상대 반대편에 이제 4강전 경기가 펼쳐지게 되는데 개인적으로 만나고
It's going to
싶은
be either
상대가
Flash or
있다면요.
Jaedong. Who do you prefer?
근데 솔직히 종족으로 보면은 저그가 올라오는 게 난데 또 저랑 영어로 하면 또
Looking at the race, I think I prefer to play
재밌을 것 같아서
a Zerg.
둘 다
But
강해서
even if it's a TVT,
또 생각이 없는 것 같아요. 그냥
I
5대
think
5인 것 같아요.
if it's against Flash, it'll still be fun. I don't really care which
네.
one I have to face
그
off
모습 이제
against.
결승전에 다시 한번 만나가지고 갚아주면 되는 거 아닙니까?
그거는 솔직히 말하면 좀 멋있게 탈락해도 멋있게 탈락하고 싶어서 뽑았던 건데 이 형은 이렇게 결승전에서 만날지는 몰랐죠. 결승에서 만나게 될지는
I selected Flash in the group selection.
수많은 팬분들 앞에서
I want to have a chance to face off against him.
각오한 말씀 들어보겠습니다.
I never expected that we'd have a chance to face off in the finals, but it's going to be a very awesome match if I could just face off against Flash.
더 많을 겁니다. 프로리그 결승전 이후는 야외는 이제 처음인데 사실
So it's going to be my first outdoor finals since the Pro League finals.
열심히 해서 기대에 부응할 수 있는
I'm
경기
very excited, and I'm hoping a lot of people will show up.
다시 한번 축하드리고
I'm going to be nervous and excited to play there.
기대하겠습니다.
I'm going to go train hard for this.
준비된 4강 첫 번째 대결이 모두 마무리됐습니다.
An amazing moment, man. I mean, do you realize how many insane players he had to slay to get this far?
He took out Bisu and Best. It's 2 of the 6 dragons. It's
Problem is-
1/3 of the 6 dragons.
That's right.
It's 4/12 of the 6 dragons.
What's it? The only problem that I think he's going to have is that those are 2 Protosses. He's against a Terran or a Zerg.
Yeah,
you know,
it's true, but
it doesn't matter how good your TVP is. That carried you here, but now you have to prepare for either the best Zerg in the world or the best Terran in the world.
Well, he's a great player, so he absolutely can prepare for that, but I mean, let's just see what type of form these other guys are in, because I think it's going to be tip-top, and the favorite for the finals should be coming out of Tuesday's match here.
And C continues to dominate. We really have to reevaluate where he is in 2017 for Brood War. I think this is a guy who you basically always have to expect to beat the other player.
Yeah.
You know what? Even if he's up against Flash, C has a chance. He's already proven everybody wrong too many times in a row. Bisu and Best, that's really hard to beat.
It's 11 years since a final. It's
wow.
Crazy. It's crazy. This guy's been a pro forever, and this is a big, big moment for him. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy as well. Just
a charismatic player.
Guy. Super friendly to the foreigners when we moved out here and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I remember we got Soju and Chicken.
Yeah,
with him.
Hung out with him multiple times right when I first came out. He has good English and was just completely friendly.
Speaks English well, Artosis. Go ahead.
Well, I don't. I got good English.
The English is pretty good.
Yeah. I do good. Okay, Superman does well.
Well, really exciting stuff. And guys, do not miss out on the other half of the round of 4. Everybody is so hyped about this. It's Flash versus Jaedong in a best of 5 Tuesday. Get here on Monday if you want to get a seat. Okay?
That might be the case. If you're in the audience, just lay down and hold your spot.
Tie yourself to the chair.
I heard that they're already planning to have like bars and stuff that are going to show this.
That's right.
Because we can't fit the amount of people that will come here. I don't even know why they show a map. We should hide the studio. Like, oh, okay, there's actually a cafe we see. Oh, I know that cafe. It's actually just out Exit 7 as they show here. It's the We Make Price Cafe. It's under that building. It's pretty hard to miss. But yeah, like, that's the thing. It's just, there's going to be so by far too many people that want to see this that we could actually, like, hide this at the bottom of the Han River, this studio, and people would be swimming down the
We could hold this tournament in Atlantis and it still wouldn't seat everybody.
Yeah, no one's found
nerds
Atlantis yet, but nerds would find it.
Yeah, nerds would find it then. Guys, tell your friends to join us for this online match as well. I mean, look, you should really skip work or school or any other adult responsibilities and check this out, because this is going to be incredible. And, of course, our finals are going to be insane, too.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so amazing. This is where the finals is, guys. It is going to be up near Shincheon Station at Yonsei University. Really great area. So this is a great way to spend your day on the 22nd, because there's like a lot of great places to eat and great bars and stuff in that area. And yeah, come on by. But you're going to have to go early, because the finals is going to be unbelievably packed.
Guys, so cool. What a special day. I can't wait for Tuesday, and I cannot wait to see what our finals are going to be like. Brood War is on the rise. It's back. It's growing at a crazy rate here in Korea. Our viewership outside of Korea is growing. More nerds are taking interest. It's the starting esport. It started all the esports.
Yeah.
Okay? I know there was Quake. It did not start like StarCraft started it.
No, it's very true. And there were tournaments and cafes, whatever. This is the original esport. This is the original country for it. And Brood War is getting so big again. Tell everybody to check out Flash vs. Jaedong, because it's just it's like one of those things that you're just supposed to watch. Like, you're supposed to watch like the EVO finals in Street Fighter and Smash. You're supposed to watch the world final, the international finals in Dota, right? There's these BlizzCon finals in StarCraft 2. This is one of those matches where it's like, it doesn't even matter if you don't like esports. It's just so epic.
You should be there. It's important.
Yeah.
Guys, that does it for us here tonight. Join us on Tuesday. That'll be at 7 p.m. KST. Again, if you're going to come to the studio, you better get here early, or you are, I guess you can go to that cafe. But
that'll probably fill up.
To be honest, that's probably going to fill up too. And then you're going to be in the cold.
Yeah. And it's very, very cold.
It's very cold lately. We will see you guys on Tuesday. We love you. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are.